Oh my gosh, guys, I am so glad you're here. I was babysitting and then I got into this big fight with my brother. But we're here. We're going to talk about a great movie. We're all safe. Night, Craven.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if we get into any more trouble, I'm ready to shoot him 6 times.
Thank you.
That's
Not
right.
that it'll do any good. Not any good at all. He is the booger man.
Just get that arm looked at, would you? I want you to get infected.
know.
Right?
You get infected.
Oh, wow.
I think you're okay right now. There's definitely some antibiotics in your future.
Right.
Probably a lot of laying down at the hospital, but that's
Yes.
another day. All right, guys, I'm excited. We have done, this is the 12th week of Halloween. I can't believe we've done this many. It's been a ride. It has been a ride. And I love that we've been having fun with every single one of these movies because I do truly believe that every movie in this franchise has value, has something to offer, has, enjoyment factor, and none more so than this movie. That's what we've been leading up to. The best day ever to talk about it is today, Halloween.
Yeah.
John Carpenter's Halloween from 1978.
Yes, ma'am.
Boom.
The immortal classic.
Yes.
That's what it is.
I like that you quoted Halloween 3.
That's right. I just saw it a little while ago. It was on AMC, and I was like, "Well, I gotta watch it." It's
Heck yeah.
It's definitely must-watch TV or must-watch movie. It's awesome
It's
stuff.
definitely one of those where if you catch it on, like, it doesn't even matter if it's halfway through. You're like, "Oh, it's Halloween." Like you stop and you put it on. It's a movie that you can watch in the background. It's a movie that you can watch all by yourself. It's such a versatile movie. Like there's always a good time to watch Halloween.
Well, the best part about it too is I came in about 65% into it, and once the finale started, the little one was on the couch. We did trick or treating and stuff, and I told her, I said, "This is the moment," and she was excited about it. I'm like, "What? 9 years old? You're on the right track, girl."
That's so cool. And my girl Cheyenne Peterson is in the chat. She says, "So happy you guys make my night better. Being sick sucks. So happy and excited to watch and listen to you guys." Cheyenne, unfortunately, has I call it chicken pot pie around my house, but you guys know the COVID.
Oh,
so it's not good.
Yes.
So we need to give her a big all gory B movie, gory hole, Care Bear stare. Just like put all the good things in your belly and shoot it. Like
wow.
So and if you need me to, I will come and kick the COVID's ass for you, Cheyenne.
There you go.
Got you.
There's a super chat clip in there somewhere.
It is.
I can just the whole
somewhere.
Get just stuff in there.
Oh Lord.
All right, who else do we have hanging out with us today? Let's see. We've got Jason. Nice to see you. Denisha, my mommy. Hi, mommy. Wayne Turner, Fairpoint Station. Oh, good crowd. My little brother Zigma, the good brother, not this guy. Gosh. Yeah, no, he's cool. He's cool, guys. All right. So, where do we get started? Let's start with how you came to find this movie, first impressions, and what it means to you.
Oof. Well, I'll say I found it on TV. I actually saw Halloween 2 first. So then, of course, I was very intrigued to see the first one, the 78 one, and sent shivers down my spine. But I was captivated by it. And I, immediately, even when I saw Halloween 2, I was just so intrigued by Loomis and this good versus evil type of vibe going on there. That's really what intrigued me. But 78 is such a great movie. It's literally my favorite. I mean, it's unbelievably good. So that's me.
Wow. I mean, it's racking the old memory banks here, man, because I was a kid when I saw it as well, because Knight and I are in very similar age range.
I think we all are, actually.
I think we all are. Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
which I was shocked to find out when I found that out about you. I would have never guessed that, Gory, that you were within our age range. That's
Likewise.
amazing.
Right.
So we're all kind of in that similar, boat. I was a kid, and I really do believe, I'm telling you, I can't remember like the exact year or anything, but I was a kid. It was on TV. It was, I think it might have even been around the Halloween when they were, the networks would show those. And, and we had like here, and you probably guys have this too. Like you have your big four, back then, but you had these other side little smaller networks, I don't know, and that would show the like reruns and stuff. And I think I was in my room because my parents let me have a TV in my room when I was probably around, I don't know, I was pretty young, 9, 10, 11, so we're in there. And I think I was watching it in there one night during Halloween season. And all I remember, and it's why it haunts me to this day, is the music. Before the imagery, the music terrified me when I was a kid. And it gave me the creeps where I was looking like in my closet. I was looking around the room. I was getting creeped out. Anyway, long answer, but it was around that same era, early 80s. And I knew even back then it scared me to death. As I got older, I began to appreciate what it was and is, and how iconic it is. And it's a masterpiece film. And there's not many movies personally I give that title to, but this is one that I do now. And I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I want to say a big thank you to my mummy, who is the best mummy, Mummy B Movie, who, had she not found me beneath a gooseberry bush, I might have never seen Halloween. So thank you, Mummy. You're the best. Also, another reason to thank Mummy B Movie is, she also says happy Halloween, guys.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Because she's the best. She introduced me to Halloween. So it's one of those movies I'd seen like maybe clips of on TV. But she brought home for my friend and I, because we already were big into horror. We'd already seen all the Friday the 13th, all the Nightmare on Elm Streets. She brought home the Blockbuster edition VHS of Halloween, and we watched it. I'm like, all right, we're gonna check off one of them other big boys of horror. So I'm all ready to see some bloodshed. Right. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, when's it gonna happen?
Wrong movie.
This is cutting into my trick or treat time.
Right.
So needless to say, I liked it okay, but I was just kind of like, well, what was all the fuss? Like that wasn't like hardly anything, because I had already seen, like I said, the really gory ones and stuff. And so I was expecting this to be kind of in the same line. And it wasn't until I got a bit older, maybe a little more sophisticated, after I saw Halloween H2O. I loved that one. That one, I got up and was like cheering. I'm like, I need to go back and give Halloween another chance. And I did. And I was like, okay, I get it now. I appreciate it. This is like a lesson in suspense, and it's playing with what you don't see. And it's holding those shots to make you uncomfortable, and so I definitely got it a lot more. And now, of course, I'm a big fan of Michael. So
yes, indeed.
I really I think all the slashers got something to offer us. And I think what I've always liked about Michael Myers is that he's kind of like this enigma. I feel like with Jason, I feel sorry for Jason and Leatherface. I feel very sorry for both of them. And I always thought, being that I love horror and I, was a kid who was bullied, that I could connect with them somehow. And even Chucky, like he's having such a good time and he likes stuff I like. So I'm just like, we could be buddies. But Michael Myers, there's nothing I could do. There is nothing you can do. He will just kill you because you're there.
Yes.
And that's what's really scary. You cannot reason with him. You can't understand him. And I think that's what drove him crazy, honestly. And so he's really a scary big brother to our other slashers.
He is. I mean, like I always say, the mythology from Michael, and I'm a Jason guy. Everybody knows that if they've
I'm
heard
a
me
Chucky
talk.
girl.
And you're a Chucky girl, and of course we know Steven, Scream.
Oh yes.
Which one?
So
Ghostface, baby, Ghostface, come on.
Yeah,
But all that being said, though, for me, Michael has one of the most, I don't know if interesting is the word I want to use, but I'm just intrigued by his mythology so much because obviously Loomis, the greatest hype man in horror movie history, he gives you the inside look.
He's he's like that valet who was for Brock Lesnar. Like he hypes him up. Like something scary is coming out. Paul Heyman. He's like him.
Yes, Paul Heyman. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Paul Heyman. He's like him. He's like, you're ready. You're like, this guy's gonna be intense. All right, where is he? Bring him out. Come on, I'm ready.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is the best valet.
Yeah.
He is. He really is. But you're right. You sympathize for some of the other horror movie icons like Jason or Leatherface, and you kind of Chucky is cool, you know what I'm saying? But with Michael, there's just nothing there. He's a killer shark. Like Busta said, he's a killer shark.
Apex predator, man.
That's one thing I've gotten from this. I will say to you guys, if there's a movie in this franchise that's holding you back, that you're like, oh, I don't like that one, don't watch it in a marathon. Like, watch it individually. Watch all the special features, watch the commentary. Really give that movie your time. Because I did that with all of these, and I used to really hate Resurrection, and that was when I really changed my mind on doing this. Hearing how much fun people had making it on the commentary, watching it, and just like not having expectations, just like I'm going to try to have a good time, and I totally did.
Yeah.
It's been a ride, guys. It's been a ride. I've enjoyed every movie along the way, every single one.
Yeah, it's been fun. Knight and I did a what we called Halloween Fest for like 6 weeks, and
I know I was in one of them.
Of course, that's right. And we hammered through a big chunk of the franchise during that period. A lot of them, and I think our favorites probably we hit, except for Halloween 2 we didn't get. But other than that, we pretty much got them all.
We also did. Danny works at the Time Capsule, and we just showed H2O there, which was really fun.
Oh, love that one. Oh my gosh, it's like top 3.
I love it so much. I know it's not for some people, but I think being a 90s teenager, it's just right up my alley.
Yeah.
Hey, Gorophobe. I just love to see other gories here. What's up?
Hey.
Fellow gories always have my heart. So let's you guys know a lot of the origin stories here, but we're just going to kind of go over. So John Carpenter, he was kind of like this hot new thing. So he did a solid Precinct 13, which if you haven't seen it, you really need to. It's not even horror necessarily. No. It's pretty intense, but it's not necessarily horror, but it's a classic, amazing movie that really put him on the map. And it got a lot of people's attention. It was being distributed by Irwin Yablin's company. And he had been kind of throwing around the idea of doing a horror film. And he's like, the babysitter murders, it's about as far as he got with it. And then he's like, I want John Carpenter to do it. And John Carpenter said, okay, he's going to score it. He's going to write it. He's going to direct it. He's doing all these things. He's only going to pay $10,000, which he has a sore spot for to this day because he feels like he hasn't gotten paid enough for how much this franchise has brought in. Which, but he agreed to that amount on 3 conditions. 1, he had complete creative control, which he did. 2, his girlfriend, Deborah Hill, would be allowed to come on to co-write and produce the movie. She did. And 3, I'm totally drawing a blank on 3. You know what? There's a 3rd condition. I'm drawing a blank. Anyways,
his name above the title?
Yes, that's it. Thank you very much.
Oh, there you go.
Name above the title. Thank you. Way to get my back there, Night.
Hey, that's what we do.
That's what
I knew you guys would get my back. I knew you guys would. So, he was really excited to do this, to get involved. And both John Carpenter and Jamie Lee Curtis have said that this is their favorite movie they ever did. Because John Carpenter, who's a young guy, he was the oldest guy on the set. This was a bunch of young people just getting to play. This was a fun time. They did this on very little money, but that meant a lot of creativity, a lot of just having fun and seeing where things go. The biggest star in this thing was Donald Pleasance, who he went to Carpenter's like, I don't really know what this is. My daughter's in a rock band, and she really liked the music in Assault on Precinct 13, so she said, I need to do this. And he grew to love his character and be very protective of it.
Yeah.
I think his salary, correct me if I'm wrong, he made the most. I think it was like 20 grand.
Yeah.
And which was like way more than anybody. Yeah, that's a lot of money for them for that budget.
And that wasn't he was actually Yablin's even though eventually he kind of had a falling out with Deborah Hill and Carpenter, he contributed a lot. He was the one who said to change the name to Halloween, because surprisingly there'd never been a movie called Halloween before, which is insane. Right. Exactly. He was the one who said, let's save some money by doing it all in one night. And these were just suggestions because Carpenter had complete creative control. His kid's in it. His kid's one of the bullies that torments Tommy Doyle. So like, he contributed some stuff that was really helpful, but this was largely, John Carpenter's, ship to run.
Yes, absolutely.
I know they used to have to gather up the leaves. They had to gather them in garbage sacks because they would keep using them over and over.
And they painted them too. They did so much work. We'll talk a little bit more about it, but like Jamie Curtis said, her favorite memory was the house they found was going to be demolished for the Myers house. It was in bad shape. How it looks throughout the movie is how it looked. And they needed it to look nice for the opening shot, which we're going to take a look at here in a little bit. So they had to paint it. They had to clean it. They had to hang up curtains. They had to go find furniture. And everybody helped. Every actor, everybody contributed, except for Donald Pleasance, who was only there for a couple of days. But guys, he's a big star. And that was one of the things I was going to mention about Yoblins. He was the one who said, let's get Donald Pleasance. He had played... in a movie that Yoblins had seen that he really liked. And so that's why he got him, because Carpenter, he really had his heart set on Christopher Lee, or maybe like Peter Cushing or something. But Yoblins said, if you get them, you're basically getting a Hammer movie. That's what people are going to expect from you. They are such big stars that that it's going to change your entire film. That's just what you're going to get. So if you get somebody like Donald Pleasance, who's equally talented, they can kind of make this their own thing. And I think that's what he did. I think to this day, though Pleasance has done amazing things, I think that this is his biggest legacy.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, he people know him as Dr. Loomis, and rightly so. He just had such a strong presence. And even though he did a lot of other movies, and I loved him in things like Escape from New York and Prince of Darkness. I mean, he's always a standout, but
James Bond.
Yes. Yeah. Blofeld. I mean, come on. That's as big as it gets, like one of the chief villains of Bond ever. So, but when people think of Donald Pleasance, I mean, you have to think of him as Loomis. And growing up in the 80s, especially when 4 and 5 came out, like, I was right at that age where I could really key in, and he was just a hero of mine, in horror. He really was.
He's very commanding. Another big hero of this franchise, and I would say, I mean, if John Carpenter's the father, he made the baby and he dropped it off at the freaking firehouse. Like, he loved that baby for the year it took to make this, and then he's like, I'm done. I'm done. Like, Deborah, I don't even want to drive to the firehouse. Can you drop it off on your way to the store? Dropped it off at the firehouse, and they kept saying, hey, you want to help with it a little bit? Maybe buy some clothes? He's like, no, fuck off. Maybe I'll write some music for it. Fuck the fuck off. But who didn't give up on that baby? Who, took the baby home? And it's like, you got a home. Is Mustafa Akkad. From the beginning, Mustafa Akkad has largely raised this baby. He's mostly a silent partner in this one. He didn't really know what was going on. He financed the film. He was working on his big directorial debut. But when he saw how successful this one is, that got his attention. And then he very much was involved in all the sequels up until his death. And then his son has taken over, Malik Akkad. So they've made it kind of a family business.
They really have. And, you got to give them credit, man. I mean, I was just thinking about that earlier when I was watching 78 and thinking about our episode tonight, about how 44 years, man. This franchise has just been a staple
Mhm.
in horror. To me, one of the big three. And the Akkads have really they kept the ship going, and some people say, oh, well, too many sequels or too many missed opportunities. But I like to think about all the great things that we've gotten, and for me, especially in these last several years, when Halloween time comes around, it's a little bit more special because Halloween is relevant. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, a
It's
lot
one
of
of those
credit to
ones.
them.
No matter what, if you tell me it's a new Michael Myers movie, I'm gonna go see it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go see it at the theater.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
got my money.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
just like these characters, they become like family to you. And then you find
Mhm.
out that they're basically coming back into town, coming into your cinema. You don't miss an opportunity to see
That's
them,
right.
like even if it's not your favorite movie, I'm just happy to see them again.
Yeah.
It's going to be sad though. It's going to be next year at Halloween because these last two in a row, we've had a Halloween movie to go get excited about and
You know,
talk about, and now next year there's not going to be one.
I don't
Mhm.
look at it like that. I look at it like, Michael's off having fun doing something else, but maybe next year I'm going to get to see my boy Jason. We haven't hung out in a long
Hey.
time. I haven't
Hey.
hung out with Jason or Ghostface since last year. So, I'm going to hang out with Chucky again. So I kind of view it like that. It's a big horror family, and there won't be a hole. It's just,
Mhm.
he's taking a break, and
Still going to
that's
miss them.
good for creativity. And you can always rewatch these movies too.
Some of them.
I can't.
Sorry.
Checking on the chat here. Yeah, Gorofo, that's correct. All of the dialogue and banter was written by Deborah Hill. What did I do? Okay, there we
With
go.
the girls, yeah.
Was written by Deborah Hill. Largely, John Carpenter came into this. He had done in college, he had visited a psychiatric hospital and seen some patients, and he really drew on that when he was writing for Halloween. Then he had to go and work on Someone's Watching Me. That might not be the title, but he went to go work on that TV movie.
Yeah.
And he's like, Deborah Hill, you man the fort while I'm gone. So she did the initial draft of the script, and she drew from her babysitting experience, drew from her friends.
Mhm.
And that's where, we got a really authentic vibe from these characters.
We
because
really did.
They really came from a place of,
Yep.
a personal place for these
Yep.
writers. And then
It's
John
true.
Carpenter came back and did his pass, and I think they worked really well together.
They did. And
Yeah.
and the ladies were just so genuine, and I immediately was drawn to them, and their friendship and how they, kind of pick on each other, and it was just really, really it was just really well done. And Deborah Hill definitely doesn't get enough credit. I mean, she was just amazing. Rest in peace. She was just
Yeah.
absolutely amazing.
Incredible artist.
Yes.
Or actually, we should be using the word totally, not incredible.
That's true.
Totally.
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 I'm gonna check on with a couple more comments here. I'm not gonna go into too much more pre-production. You guys know the story about the mask, though. They did consider Richard Nixon and
Oh my gosh.
Hawk. Those were but ultimately, though, I don't think a lot of people know that the other mask he grabbed, because he thought those two were too recognizable. We all know about the Shatner mask, but the other one he grabbed was actually a clown mask. It's a sad clown mask, and the idea was that as a child he had this happy clown mask, and it was it would have been a very different movie. It would have been creepy,
Yeah.
but it would have been very different. And I like that Michael has a very unique look that's just him. And I think a lot of the iconic ones, Chucky, Freddy Krueger, they all have a look that's uniquely them. I mean, even Ghostface, that is a staple of the costumes you find, but they made that their own, and I think that's important.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, that's what you connect with, is that costume or that mask or that glove, and I think that they were really smart making that choice with the Shatner mask, and doing their little moves on it and so forth. The Michael movies where the mask isn't as good, you can tell the difference, but that 78 mask is just it's just great. It's absolutely great.
It is.
All right, I'm gonna check in a few comments from the chat here. My little brother says, "Do you think Michael feels anything when he kills?" I think he feels curiosity. I think Michael, personality-wise, is largely like a 6-year-old if they had zero emotion and empathy. It's mostly just curious, like, well, what happens if I do this? A great example is Halloween Kills, where he keeps stabbing the guy over and over again. It's just more like, it's almost like a science experiment, a really dark science experiment. When he kills Bob and he kind of looks at it like, you're just going to hang there, huh? Like, there's no sadness, there's no joy, there's no anger. It just seems like a very morbid curiosity. That's not to say that he doesn't get pissed off, but I think most of the time for his kills, it's more of just, what would happen. Or sometimes it's, I need this. I need these coveralls. I need this mask because I'll need them. And sometimes it's, you're in my way. I'm trying to get over to this mission over here. But what do you guys think?
Well, sometimes I think to myself, it's almost like because he's so blank and dark inside, it's almost like he wants to have that in the victim, because a lot of times when he kills, like you said, he'll do the stare thing or he'll, do the head tilt. It's almost like now they've become as dead as he is on the inside. That's one thing that used to always kind of populate my mind is that he, like Loomis said, the devil's eyes, the blackest eyes. And of course, when someone else is dead, and I think that's the connection that he's making with these victims,
That's
I really like that. That's cool.
That's cool. Yeah, I think of it similar. When Loomis says, there's nothing remotely human, I'm like, it's like he's gone. Whatever was there, it's gone. And I often wonder when he, like, what is he thinking or is he just driven? Because if that evil has completely consumed him, or 95% consumed him, I wonder if it's more of just a drive, like I have to go do this. You're in my way. Therefore you have to do this. More than actually processing. I don't know what he's processing or if he's processing. It's an interesting question to think about it. I mean,
and that's the beauty of it too.
It is. It's the unknown.
Because we literally could probably talk for like a long time about these right now, what we're talking about right here, only this, we could probably, just kind of go on some.
His doctor spent years trying to figure it out.
Exactly.
That's true.
And that's a scary thing too, because, you find out that, hey, he's been with a doctor for that long and they can't crack that code. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, when I think of, Michael as a horror icon or as a character, I'm like, no one could figure him out. Loomis is theorizing on what he's got, what he's got to work with, but we don't really know, because Michael chooses not to talk either. So it's like, wow, it's a great mythology.
It is.
Great answers, guys. I want to thank Phil's Creepy Videos. By the way, great channel. He has such an amazing movie collection, just collectibles collection. Check out his videos to just gaze at all of his amazing stuff. But yeah, he gave us a super chat. He says, "Happy Halloween. Go buy some candy. Mama's going to go get herself some candy corn with that because candy corn's delicious."
I like candy corn too.
Thank you. You guys are awesome. I knew there was a reason we were all friends.
That's right. Once a year. I only let myself have it once a year.
I get a bag every year.
Every year I get the harvest mix where it's the little pumpkins.
Oh yeah.
That's nice.
And it's got the chocolate. Some of the little cones have chocolate on the bottom, right? Like little candy corns.
Yep.
That's the one I get once a year. That's it. And so let me just say my bag is gone. It's empty. I did survive.
I read it when it goes on sale. Jason says, "Love your channel. Gave you a thumbs up. Thank you. I much appreciate that." So, guys, I want to just dive into this movie because I know we're going to have so much to say. I've got a lot of clips lined up for us. Like you do, right?
That's how you always do, Gory.
Yes.
Always.
Right.
I love it.
There is so much to talk about here. So like for some of these scenes, we're going to probably take a break for a lot of these scenes just to kind of break it down, our analysis, our thoughts, just what we love. Let's start. How many movies do you start by showing off the credits?
Right.
But this movie, you have to, guys.
You do.
So,
yes.
Yeah, I got to show you guys this.
Oh, yeah.
There's no sound because I don't want to get demonetized.
Yeah.
But the reason I showed you that is because that opening, I mean, it was really cool because they had, Tommy Lee Wallace carved the pumpkin, which he did a great job here as
Yeah, he
the
did.
art director and making the mask and everything. But the mask, it zooms in and you can see it. It looks almost like Michael Myers holding a knife to the side, which
Yes,
is
it
really
does.
cool. That's something I didn't notice until I'd watched it quite a few times. But yeah, it's really cool. You can kind of see it there as it zooms in like that. And these jack-o'-lantern openings have become kind of a staple with the franchise. It's something that, especially the new trilogy, has gotten really creative with. And it's one of the
Yeah.
things I really look forward to.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, there's not many horror movies that I get that invested into just the opening credits. You know what I'm saying? Like Halloween. And it's just fantastic. I mean, obviously a big part of that too is the music, and
Yes.
it's like, this is top level. To me, it's just top level stuff. I mean, I like theme songs from a lot of movies, like, whether it's The Exorcist or Scream or Nightmare or Friday, even Child's Play, Amityville. But the
I don't know what that
Halloween theme,
even Child's Play nonsense was, but yeah, I get
yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, but the theme for Halloween is just so iconic and creepy. It's creepy.
So creepy,
It
dude.
really is. It's
Yes.
got like a gallop to it too that kind of picks up. A lot of great themes, like Psycho has that too, where it really energizes you. But I feel like this movie from the get-go, it gives you that fall feeling. It also gives you that sinister feeling. Like this isn't gonna be a safe movie. And it's fun because you kind of know from the get-go what you're getting into. Sometimes it's fun not to know. I just watched Barbarian. That's a great one, going blind.
Yes.
Yes, going blind.
Halloween, from the get-go, they're pretty clear about this is what we're going to give you. Buckle up. We're going for a ride.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I have to say on the just real quick on the trilogy that came out, I was really excited to see the intro. I seriously was. Like, even when Ends, we watched Ends last, a couple weeks ago, whatever it was now. A couple weeks ago. I was like, well, how's he going to finish the trilogy in the intro? Like, and then he did it differently, with all the multiple, jack-o'-lanterns and stuff, which was cool.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Which one's your favorite of the openings?
Oh, wow. Oh, man. Of the trilogy or period?
Of all of them. Any of the jack-o'-lantern openings.
Gosh.
Oh,
the one where it's being slashed in part 6. There's the ones coming out of other jack-o'-lanterns and Ends. There's I think 2018 is probably my favorite, where it's a rotten pumpkin and it kind of comes back.
Comes back. That's I was gonna say the same thing, because it's like a reborn, right? It's like, here we go. We're gonna do this again. And they delivered on 18. That was a great sequel. That was a great sequel.
I would say either 2018 or Halloween 2, 1981, because I love it when it opens up and you see that skull. And of course,
I love that. Yes.
Yeah. And the theme, it's amped up with the synthesizer, because you got Alan Haworth who's helping out with Carpenter. So it's like it's like hitting a little bit more intense. And I really noticed that, yeah, but 2018 was great. It was great.
Danny says choose his favorite opening with the skull.
There you go.
When Tommy Lee Wallace did direct Halloween 3, he also directed one of my favorite movies, Fright Night 2, which I know it's not popular, but I love it. It's really good. Okay, and speaking of some of my favorite movies, I am a big fan of Black Christmas, and I wouldn't say that it takes from Black Christmas, but there are definitely parts of this that kind of are reminiscent of Black Christmas. And one of those things is the point of view shot that we get at the very start of this movie. It's a lot like when Billy approaches the sorority house. The scene's just quiet.
Yeah.
I didn't take out the music. It's actually really eerie because at first there is no music. But yeah, I'm a little, and there's something, you can't say this about every Michael Myers movie, but right away, something's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not spoiling anything for you guys. Michael Myers is a 6-year-old boy. Why the hell is he outside? He should not be outside in that, that very thin outfit. He could freeze his butt off. His sister is not doing what she is supposed to do. And I firmly believe it's not about transgressing. It's not about, they did drugs, they drank, they had sex. I believe from a child's point of view, it's you broke the rules. You know, she is supposed to be watching him. It's that whole urban legend. Did you check on the children? And yeah, I was thinking about that today. The only one we don't know for sure would be the mechanic, but it's off screen. I don't know what he did or what he didn't do. It could have just been a matter of needing clothes. But I was thinking about it with every person in this movie, breaking it down for you. Judith, she is having sex with her boyfriend. Her brother is, she mentions earlier her brother wants to go trick-or-treating. So she ditched her brother to go, oh wait, no, I'm thinking of a different character. No, Judith. So yeah, Judith is supposed to be taking Michael trick-or-treating, and she's screwing her boyfriend. This is a lot like Linda, who mentions that her little brother wants to go trick-or-treating too. She's ditching him to go screw Bob. Your death sentence right there. Like you're PTSD Michael real hard. And Annie, she leaves a young girl alone, goes out to a shed where she stupidly, this isn't Michael's fault, this is her fault, locks herself in her underwear.
Yes,
that
indeed.
little girl could have started a fire. Like, you are being paid to watch her. How can you not figure this shit out? And I think that's why she gets killed. And then she's going to drop her off at another babysitter's house to go pick up her boyfriend? No. Bob, again, they're not even in their house. They're in the house of a little girl who's supposed to be, whose parents have paid people to keep her safe in her home. So yeah, they're also in a home they're not supposed to be in. And Lori, again, breaks the rules. She tucks those children in, she closes that door, and she leaves them to check on her friends. She leaves them. Anything could have happened. And then what's more, she doesn't have she loses the keys and can't get back in. She has to break a flower pot to get Tommy's attention. And if you notice, that is when Michael comes for her. When she leaves the children. I almost wonder if she had never done that, would she have been okay? Because he has opportunities. Even when the bullies are bothering Tommy Doyle, one of them runs right into Michael Myers. He could have killed him. He doesn't. He stalks Tommy Doyle a lot. He doesn't kill him. He doesn't seem that interested in the children. So it doesn't apply to the sequels. But for this movie, I firmly believe in like a little kid's sense of right and wrong. It's you had a job to do and you didn't do it. You know, the kind of, I'm going to tell on you, but no, I'm going to kill you instead.
No, that's an interesting way to look at it. I mean, it definitely, it adds up. It adds up. That's for sure. I like it.
He's a vigilante babysitter killer.
Yeah, he is.
Killing eliminating the bad babysitters.
And this was called the babysitter murders. And from his point of view, they're bad babysitters.
Right.
You know?
Interesting. Yeah. So very interesting theory. I like that. I never heard that one before. That's it. That's cool.
I like it too.
That's cool. Yeah.
I'm a great babysitter, just in case anyone knows.
That's because you want to stay alive.
I know.
And you still got stabbed. Despite all that, you still got stabbed.
I know. It sucks. Actually, I have no idea where my child is right now. So I'm not that
oh, jeez.
It's dressed as Ben Tramer around the neighborhood somewhere. So, yeah.
Nice.
Alrighty. So, like I said, for some of these scenes, like this iconic opening, we're going to go a little more in detail. I'm going to show you the knife only because, one, there's a couple things about this scene that I think are important. That clown mask that he finds on the floor, that belongs to him. We know that because he's wearing the clown outfit. And I think that's another part of why I think that might be what sets him off. That belongs to him. His sister's not only neglecting him, not taking him trick-or-treating, but now her lame-ass boyfriend is wearing his costume. And that's when he goes upstairs. So I'm going to show you this scene where Michael decides, you know, I've had enough. I'm getting my knife. And in this scene, you can see Deborah Hill's hand.
Right.
Looks like a child. A little child hand. But it's a full-grown ass woman's hand.
Yeah, it is.
So enlighten me. I think we all remember what happens next. I'm not going to show you guys. Well, I got a couple boobies to show you guys later, but I'll show you. Thanks, Mr. Flickster. I'm Gory Strode tonight. I'm kind of blonde. I think I'm having more fun, but it could just be the company.
It could be.
See anything you like?
Michael, that should have been your cosplay, Linda.
Love it.
Like the hair up. I'd kill to see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. So we got another super chat
Hey.
from Zigma. If I can pull it up, which I
Woo.
can't right now for some reason.
Mhm.
Oh, there we go. He says, most slashers have been crushed and have returned. Do you think Michael Myers will follow Jason's footsteps and return as a zombie demon thing? I think Chucky did it best. I personally don't think so, because if my theory on it is it's not the body that's evil. There's something within Michael that's evil. I've always theorized that the mask is kind of what brought that about. The clown mask and then the Michael Myers mask, I mean, connects it to Silver Shamrock. But we've definitely seen that evil was passed to Jamie at one point. It was passed to Danny in part 6, and it was passed to Corey in Ends. So I don't think so. I think he could destroy his body and that evil. And there was even an abandoned script where he did become kind of a ghostly type form. It was an abandoned idea for part 4. So not necessarily a zombie, but I do think that evil could be transferred to, another body.
It was starting to be transferred into Lori in the kitchen in Ends. And then Allison stopped it. Remember? That was right in the middle of that download or whatever that was going on. And she's like, I'm going to let it happen to you. So Allison was aware of like something was going on there. So
what do you guys think? Could there be a zombie Michael?
No. I don't think so. I mean, of course, anything can happen. We've seen a lot of crazy shit happen in this franchise.
True.
So, but I don't think they'll go down that road, because I think what separates him, especially from Jason, and Jason obviously became a zombie in 6, but what separates him is that, and Carpenter envisioned him as human and supernatural. And it was like this gray spot between the two. What is he? How far can he go? He can take the 6 shots and he's not dead, but what else? And there was all these question marks. So I think if you make him come back as a zombie, you take away some of the strongest aspects of his mythology, because he can be hurt, or I should say, if he gets stabbed or whatever, he'll go to the ground. He's not, you know what I'm saying? And I think if you make him a zombie, you take away all of that.
I think the other thing too is Michael is way too much of a pretty boy. The first one you don't notice it so much, but no, he has to have the same mask. Okay, he's very particular about it. He needs mechanic coveralls. Does he want to dress up as a fireman? Fuck no. Have you met Michael Audrey Myers? He has a look, and he slays that look. Do you think he's gonna come back as a freaking zombie, looking all different with flesh falling off? Hell no. Hell no. He's way too into his looks. I always think of him as kind of the jock in the Breakfast Club of slashers, like the Emilio Estevez.
Good point. Yeah. I can get it.
Yeah. I don't see him being a zombie. I agree. I think that, I mean, they could do. They can do anything they want. I mean, who knows? In 3 to 5 years, if they bring him back, but that would totally change the entire mythology of the whole franchise. It would be, it wouldn't be Michael Myers really anymore. It would be that, because Michael Myers isn't that. So, like Jason's one thing. Okay, that fits. But if you change that, then you're not really doing Michael Myers. You're just doing someone that looks like him. And so, because Myers is by very nature human, and like I said, more than human. It's both. So I would think no, unless they're going to radically overhaul the franchise moving forward.
Yeah, Mav, prima donna Myers, and he did steal his look from the hottest kid in town, Ben Tramer. Ben Tramer,
good old Ben.
You know who's not a fox is Judith's boyfriend, who is a minute man. Okay, 6-year-old boy outside walks in before he reaches the stairs. Judith's boyfriend is putting on his shirt. He's done.
It's true. You're right.
Wham bam.
Wow,
he was in a hurry, I guess. Yeah.
And she's like, "Are you gonna call me?" I'm like, "Honey, honey, don't.
Yeah.
You can do better."
You failed.
So there's a couple theories on why after he kills Judith, he goes downstairs. So one theory is he's looking for the boyfriend, because I mean he fucked up too.
Mhm.
The other theory is if you go with the sibling thing, which I don't. This at this point when they wrote this, there was no sibling thing, but some people like to connect it to that, saying, "Well, Judith would have been, or not Judith, Laurie would have been in the car, so he's going to get his sister. That's why he goes outside."
Okay.
But it's
Yeah, I've
all how
heard
you
that.
want to interpret it.
Mhm. Yep. I heard
Yeah.
that. I mean, it's an interesting thought. I mean, I could see that. One thing I always thought was, once he was done, it's almost like he and we see this when when his parents take off the mask. It's almost like he went dormant. He just was done. You know what I mean? And he kind of went back to where he started. Like Mike, to me, Michael, at least the way he's portrayed in a lot of the movies, he's very, like he has a set amount of reactions. You know what I'm saying? He kills, he moves, he goes dormant, he stares, and it's like, and there's like this whole cycle that he goes through. So part of me was thinking, man, he's just going back to where he was before, whatever the hell he was doing outside. Maybe he was going to start, I don't know, killing some other people. I don't
One of the
know.
most disturbing things about that, I mean, I agree with you that he's totally dazed, but his parents, they just stare at him. So
I know, it's so awkward.
it's so weird.
It is awkward. It's crazy.
They're just like, the mom's kind of like nonchalant, like, oh, here we go again.
Right,
Like,
right.
Like, did the evil transfer into both of them? So they're just all
I
like
mean, this
zombies
movie-
together, like frozen.
Parts of this movie I just find really kind of bizarre, and that's one of them. It's just like, that's the reaction. Like,
Right.
I don't know. And it makes me wonder, was there something wrong with their family? Did this come out of nowhere? Were they a nice, normal suburban family, and this came out of nowhere? No warning signs, no nothing. Or, and I kind of wonder about this, is it a case of where it looked ordinary? It looked safe, but it wasn't. There's something horrible happening in the Myers house. There's a lot of that in this movie. Michael is a very cute little boy. There's evil inside of him. The Myers house in the 60s looks like a nice, pretty house. Something horrible happens inside there. When it becomes a decrepit old house in the 70s, nothing bad happens there except for to a dog. It's the Doyle and Wallace's house where everyone's murdered. Nice, normal houses where you should feel safe. And this movie is all about kind of peeling back those layers and saying that you're not safe anywhere. There is no safe place. There are no safe people. Evil can hide in plain sight.
That's the beauty of the movie. To me, it's the beauty of the movie is that, you just have this little boy, looks like a cute little kid. He kills his sister viciously, and then of course we see what happens once he breaks out of Smith's Grove, and you're just like, where could you be safe? Loomis at the end of the movie is walking down the street. He doesn't know where Michael is. He has no clue that, and if it wasn't for Lindsay and Tommy, he wouldn't have been able to get there in time to save Laurie. So it just goes to show you that evil can be anywhere. It can literally be anyone.
Yeah, and I think it's scary even if the family is completely normal, because I think sometimes that does happen. We see people who are parents of like serial killers or shooters and stuff, and I've seen a lot of like one of the parents of one of the boys from Columbine, and she's done a lot of TED Talks, and she seems like a reasonable person. I don't think she made her child like that. I don't think any one person can ever be to blame. And so I think sometimes it does happen where, a household seems like it's fine and they're able to create something evil. Likewise, some horrible things have happened to a lot of people who haven't done anything evil. So I think it's unpredictable.
It's very.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And like I said, this was the last thing shot in the movie. It was Jamie Lee Curtis's favorite thing because they had to paint the house. Like, there's a whole project where they had to paint that house. They had to get curtains. They had to go find the cute vanity. There was nothing in that house, and just really fun, Like, there's some pictures of her like smoking and stuff because Jamie Lee Curtis was nothing like Laurie Strode. She said she was a bad student. She smoked. She drank. She swore. PG Soul said that, she would tell her that, like, you got the fun part. You get to do all the fun stuff. And she's like, yeah, I did get the fun part.
Yeah, it's
Suck
funny.
it.
Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis said that she was more like, Linda, and
Yeah.
PJ was more like Laurie, you know?
Mhm.
It's funny. It's funny to think that, but that's how it is, they're actresses. So,
Yeah.
we don't know about them in real life unless they let us know about it,
That's a sign of a good,
That's right.
performer, I think.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
let's get over to Smith's Grove. Dr. Loomis is going over there, and we've all seen the movie. So you guys
Mhm.
tell me what happens.
I just love the conversation he has with Nurse Marion.
Same.
Yes.
You could just tell that he is a professional. He's been there and done that.
Yeah.
He totally looks at Michael as a thing,
Mhm.
and right off the bat, I'm like, wow. I'm curious, what has happened. And of course, we find out, little by little, and especially later on in the other movies. And it's just so intriguing because he totally has no emotion about this patient
He
that he's worked with.
I'm gonna say thanks for a super chat here. Again, my brother is the best. He said, Sammy came to my door and said, trick or treat, make sure to give him extra candy. Yeah, do not blow out that jack-o'-lantern. Wear a costume, give the candy. Just do. You made the right choice there. You made the right choice. Yeah, so he has this kind of Bearded Entertainment. Thanks. It's so cool having a monetized channel now, guys. I'm like, kind of loving it.
Hey, Eric.
Thank you,
Hey.
Bearded.
Come on.
He said he just went through Halloween 7, 8 Haunted. Oh my gosh, I did too. It was a great scare. It was so much fun. And I did the tour. I have a friend who does the tour. We went to Pasadena and saw the Myers house and all the locations and went to Judith's grave, or where it should be.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Fun.
the Halloween Horror Nights this year, I'd never gone before. It was super fun. Super fun.
nice.
That's so cool. I'm so glad you got to go too. So yeah, Loomis has this Murtaugh quality, like Lethal Weapon quality, where he's like, I am too old for this shit. Because
Yes.
he has put up with years of bureaucracy, and
Mhm.
if you watch the TV cut, there's a little more of that. That's where they say Michael Audrey Myers 5 times, even though in the theatrical cut, nobody ever says Michael Myers. They
Right.
refer to Judith Myers, the
Mhm.
Myers house, and a couple people in the beginning of the movie say Michael, but largely he's referred to it, evil, or the shape.
Mhm.
He doesn't really become the Michael Myers until later.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But yeah, Loomis, he's been telling people, you've seen the TV cut, he's evil. He needs to be in a maximum security prison. This isn't going to hold him. And he's
Mhm.
had to deal with people just not listening to him. And so, he's telling Mary, and she's like, well, why are we even going to his thing, and he's like,
Because
because
that's
it's
the
the law.
law.
And he's so exasperated. Here's Loomis.
You actually never want him to get out.
Never.
Then why are we taking him up to Hardin County if you're just going to lock him?
Because that is the law.
I love it.
They've been there, done that.
It's like when you've told your son or your child, in your case, your daughter, 50 times, why they can't stay at past 8, because that's just the rules. Because you get the impression he's had to go through so many times. He knows they're not going to listen. He's tired. He's tired. But then we get there and we have this great shot of all the patients meandering around, and I think it's so creepy. It's so creepy. There's a lot of these shots that have been kind of duplicated. They did that really well again in 2018.
Yes.
Which I thought was really great. And then a great jump scare as Marion is left alone in the vehicle.
Yeah.
And I think what I like about that is he is completely inhuman. I mean, do you guys know anyone who can do that?
Right? I've said that so many times about some of the stuff he does, man. It's like that is very difficult to do. Physically, it's difficult to do.
And it's raining.
He's not training, you know what I mean?
No.
At least we can't imagine.
Yeah. It's a wet car, he's barefooted, and
his ass is flying out in that gown.
It is.
Right.
It's right. Oh man.
To me, that instantly tells me that Loomis is right. This isn't a human being. This isn't a man.
Yeah.
A man tries the door. A man tries to break the window. A man does not jump on top of the car. An animal does that.
Right.
I've watched
Yeah.
movies
Right.
where lions and stuff attack cars. I watched Beast recently. Animals do that.
Mm-hmm.
And he
That's true.
moves like an animal.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
And
crazy.
I want to show you guys this. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, this scene here. Because guys, this was a low budget movie, and I love that. I hope they don't remove some of the little mistakes, like when you can see palm trees in the background, because you can
Yes.
digitally.
Yep.
They did that with one of my copies of Evil Dead. You have to get the DVD one to get it unedited. I like that. It adds to the charm. And I have this clip for you here because to break the window, Nick
wrench.
Castle's wearing a wrench on his hand. So if you look
Mhm.
closely, you can see that in this clip.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
You sure can. Yeah.
it
It's really
is. Oh,
quick,
yeah.
but it's there.
It's
You're right.
Oh,
You
yeah.
see it.
quick,
It
but
is.
it's there. It's there. And this is what lights up our boy Loomis. He is tired. He is exasperated. But knowing now that Michael is free, it's the Loomis that we know.
Mhm.
He's a madman. He's like Ahab. He's a crazy guy.
He is.
Yep.
He is. He really is.
Here's Loomis for you.
He's gone. He's gone from here. The evil is gone.
The
Like
evil
I
is
said,
gone.
Evil is
He doesn't
gone.
call him Michael. He doesn't call him his patient. He doesn't call him a
Yes.
man. He is evil. He is pure
Mhm.
evil.
Yep.
And I think it's like
Yeah.
you were saying earlier, like he's a hype man because we don't really know much about him. Last time we really saw him in this movie, a few
Yeah.
seconds ago, he's a little boy, and so we're like,
Right.
oh wow, what's been going on these
Yeah.
last few years?
Absolutely.
And they don't show us much of Myers in the whole movie, so it's really Loomis who's narrating for us what we're dealing with, what we're witnessing, and what they're dealing with in reality. And that's why Loomis is so important to this film, because he is the one telling the Michael story.
Right.
No one else is telling it; it's him.
Mhm. Yep.
And his delivery and execution is so good that
Mhm.
it just wraps you. I mean, I've seen when he's talking about Michael, and anytime he opens his mouth to the sheriff or anyone else, I'm just hooked. I'm just like listening to every word. I'm like locked in. And
Yeah.
if you get someone else that doesn't deliver like that, this movie, I think we'd be talking about this movie differently. We would.
I agree.
Perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
critical.
he has a presence and a charisma to him, and his delivery of his lines. Like you can really, like he's not BSing. You can really
Mhm.
believe in what he's doing, and so that draws you in. And like you said, he's creating the shape of Michael in
Yep.
our minds.
Right.
Because we don't see Michael, we don't know about
Mhm.
Michael, and through what he's saying, this is a grown man, a professional who you can tell is not scared, but totally can't figure out what the hell this man is. He's not a man. And so
Mhm.
you're already thinking like that too. And I think that was one of the best things about the Loomis character. And fortunately for the filmmakers, Donald was able to hit a home run with that. I
Yes.
mean, like you said, if he
Sure
didn't
did.
work out as a character, I think this movie would have definitely been a lot less what it could have been, or what it is, I should say.
He convinces
That's
you
right.
pretty early on. A couple things here. I want to talk about Nancy Stevens. She is also a beloved character of this franchise. She's here as the smoky nurse Marianne. She comes back in part 2, largely because she, at the time she was dating him, but is now married to Rick Rosenthal, who directed that movie. He also directed Resurrection. I'm kind of bummed she wasn't in that one, but she does come back for Kills. And comes back in H2O as well. I think she's great in both of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I love her in H2O. The opening of H2O is great.
Yep.
There's a lot of and I think that's what I love about some of these franchises is, the family that happens behind the scenes too, because, they're married, but then also Tommy Lee Wallace and Nancy Loomis, they're married as well, which is the woman who plays Annie is
Love
married
Annie.
to the art director. Well, she was not anymore. But was married to Tommy Lee Wallace.
Wow. I love Annie. Her character just every time.
I love Annie too. She's full of spunk.
Yes. And it's fun. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just a certain something about the way she delivers her lines. And even in Halloween 3 with her small part as the ex-wife or whatever, I just enjoyed her, or
she's got fire.
The Fog. Yeah, she's got fire in her. I just when she got killed, I was sad. I really was.
I wish I could see her in something where she really had a chance to like. I mean, maybe I just need to watch more of her movies, but where she's got like a really good part where she gets to shine. I think. But I do love her in this movie. I like her a lot in part 3 as well.
Yeah.
And then another thing we mentioned, I'm sure you guys know this, but there's a lot of references. Tommy Doyle is named after a character in Rear Window. Dr. Loomis is named after a character in Psycho, which is crazy because Jamie Lee Curtis is the daughter of Janet Leigh. You guys know all this stuff. I'm going to just move on. I love this because, like I said, I'm dressed up as Laurie Strode today, which I was at a costume thing over the weekend, and not only did nobody get my costume, which is a bummer, but when I would tell people, like, from Halloween, Michael Myers, they're still looking at me like, I'm like, Halloween.
Right.
I don't know what I'm like. I love it where you guys, where you're probably more like, gory, but you did the wrong arm, which I'm aware I did.
I didn't.
I wasn't gonna say a word.
So mad. It was hanging up, and I didn't think about it because I wasn't. But yeah,
it still looks fabulous.
It does.
But yeah, you guys are my people. I feel safe now.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
And Tatum, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. And Philip Morgan and Gerald Winters. Lots of people here.
Right. Nice.
Spider Master. I don't know who the Spider Master is, but welcome to the Gory Hall. I have 2 pet spiders. So we welcome you. We welcome you.
Maybe he was the one climbing the car. The
Maybe. Yeah, he's like a little spider. Oh, and High Ground Cantina. Great Gory Hole today, guys.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
So next we go to the Myers house. And what I think is really good about this is it establishes a lot of things. One, we have Laurie Strode. They were very careful with Laurie Strode to do a lot of things. One, they permed her hair and then let it relax. So it has this kind of like, frizzy, unsophisticated style. They didn't want her to look sophisticated. She is not the cool girl at school, but she's not the uncool girl. She's not Carrie White. She's just
right.
She's not mature. In a lot of ways, she is responsible, but they are making it very clear that she's a teenage girl. She is not a woman yet.
Yeah.
And her clothes, they bought all her clothes at one spot. They bought it all at JCPenney's because they wanted it to look like her mom buys her clothes. She delivers the key to the Myers house because dad told her to. So she's still very much somebody who's under her parents' roof, who's not out on her own, who hasn't really seen the world much, but is also very intelligent. I mean, she is a good student. She is a good daughter, but she's not very worldly yet.
Yep. I agree. And you can buy it, in the way that Jamie Lee portrayed her. She definitely seems like that. I knew girls like that in school. You know what I'm saying? And so she's very.
I was a girl like that in school.
There you go.
I lived it.
Yes. You feel like you're really smart because you've read a lot of stuff, but you haven't. I mean, I did move to a different country, but still, even then, I lived on an Air Force base when I was in England. So, when you're young and you haven't really experienced the world yet, but
that's right.
Yeah.
You sympathize.
You live in a
with
small
her.
town. I live in a small town. Still live in a small town.
Yep.
So
but you really sympathize with her because she just seemed like a really nice kid. She was nice to her friends. She was really nice to the kids she babysat. Like you said, she listened to her parents, and now she's in the situation. So you root for her, and that's what you want that in a horror movie. You want to care about these people that are being victimized, and Laurie Strode was a great example of that.
And she puts other people first, especially in the TV cut. You get a little more. Now, it's really funny. I wish I would have put some clips from the TV cut in here. There's a clip in the TV cut where Linda comes over and asks to borrow Laurie's new blouse she got for her birthday. And she's like, don't rip it. But that house they filmed in, guys, it's a street over from Laurie Strode's house in the movie. It's actually what would become the Nightmare on Elm Street house. In the TV cut, that is the Nightmare on Elm Street house.
Wow, nice.
So that's really cool. But she's the girl who always comes through for her friends and sometimes kind of feels a little walked on, you can tell, but she prides herself on being dependable. She prides herself on, looking out for others.
Yeah.
And she does that.
She really does.
She does.
There's so many cool connections like that too. Like when you talk about, other horror, like with Nightmare, like Robert Englund worked on the set for a day, helping
Yeah.
with the leaves and stuff. And it's like,
Mhm.
it's just so cool when you think about the connections. He had connections with Sean Cunningham with Friday the 13th, and
Steve
you know,
Miner directed H2O, who did parts 2 and
exactly.
3 of Friday.
Yeah, Dick Warlock was the
Dick.
Shape in part 2, and he worked
Yep.
on Friday 5. So it's for me, I love it because those are three of my favorite horror franchises,
Yeah.
and it's cool to see all those bridges and connections. It's awesome.
I think that's something I want to see in the future. Is I loved that we had Freddy versus Jason. Didn't quite fulfill all of everything I wanted, but I want to see more of like a shared universe. I guess I think I would like that.
Yeah,
not
that'd be fun.
necessarily a shared universe, but I guess more crossovers is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Because to me they are all kind of part of this like world where they all exist together. They're just to me they're just in different parts of the country.
Yep.
Up in Jersey is Jason, in Middle America is Michael, in California is Ghostface. So to me they all do exist simultaneously.
Yeah. And down in Texas is good old Leatherface.
Yes, I would like to see another crossover, another Versus movie. It was such a big part of the Universal films, and how the Universals had all the monsters clash and bring them all together. I would love to see that with our slasher characters.
Yeah, that's a good point, man, because Universal monsters to this day, they still hold weight. They still matter. They're still iconic. And these horror icons we're talking about right now, they're going to matter in 30 and 40 and 50
They
years.
are the new Universal monsters as far as I'm concerned. And that's why I want to see them interact. That's something I haven't seen yet. I've seen them go to space. I've seen them do some crazy stuff, but I want to know what happens when they meet.
Right? It's true.
Just clarify that when you said we're going down to Texas, my ears perked up. I thought I was going to hear you say Pearl. Like, oh, come on, man! Throw a little love to Grandma Pearl, man.
Oh, Pearl.
Pearl.
Yes.
Ooh, X. Ooh, my gosh.
The other thing that happens with small towns, and this was very much true with where I lived on. I lived on an Air Force base, and a big part. It was called New Caversfield, on RAF Upper Hayford, and a big part of this town had been burned down. There's old Caversfield where it had like a lot. Small towns have legends, even Air Force Base small towns. And there was a big wooded area in the center where like everything on an Air Force Base is controlled. So you go say, I'm going to go to my friend's house. You just tell your parents their last name. They know exactly who that person's parents are. You can't get in too much trouble. There's guards at the gate, not that you ever see the gate because it's massive. But there was a wooded area in like off to the side where if you go deep, 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 deep into the woods, there was like a play structure made out of wood, and there was a fallen tree that had been hit by lightning. And beyond that, across this big field, was this massive mansion. Massive in the middle of the freaking woods. And you would hear dogs barking out there. And we had all these stories about horrible things that happened in that house and who lived there. Sometimes you would convince yourself that there was a light on or that you heard something. Nobody would go to that house. That house scared the crap out of every kid I know. It was just a house of legend. And so your imagination goes wild. And I like that in this movie, we have that. That's what the Myers house has become. It's the spook house. Yeah. You dare your friends to go knock on the door. You dare them to go inside. You make up stories about it,
Yep. And it's creepy. It's creepy.
It is. Big time.
And in this case, it's real. Like my house, it was probably just a house in the woods. I don't know anything crazy happening. But in this case, it really is real. And from a parent perspective, an adult perspective, that's what's scary is when, the reality kicks in that there is an actual man and they're eating a dog, hanging out. And this is also where he gets his first look at Laurie Strode. So let's take a look at that.
Yeah. Ooh.
And now we can tell it kind of reminds me of The Grudge in the way that the Japanese film Ju-on, because in that house, once you touch the house, once you're in the house, you're cursed. There's nothing you can do. And I feel like the moment she touched that house, he was fixated on her.
Yeah, I agree. And, that's kind of what it looks like because as soon as he as soon as she gets right up to that door and he's like, boom, and then she's walking down the sidewalk, he comes out of the house, broad
I
daylight.
have that. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
That's right.
And the sound
There
of
it
his
is.
breathing.
Yes. Love it, man.
And the song she's singing here, John Carpenter said, sing something that's not copyrighted. So she just made up a little ditty. I do like that they went to all the trouble in 2018 of getting a band to actually make a song around the two like lyrics we hear. So now it's a real song. But yeah, she was just singing something that she made up, just like you do. But yeah, she's so innocent. She's so sweet. Like
Mhm.
you know, people don't just like, I will sing in the shower, I'll sing in the car, but I don't, even in my town, I wouldn't sing walking down the street, but that's how safe she feels. You know, it's
right.
how you feel.
Exactly.
Small town America. Nothing to fear.
Nothing to fear at all. No.
Nope.
And Jamie
That's
Lee Curtis, I mean, she doesn't need a lot of introduction, but she was, the child of a power couple of Tony Curtis from Some Like It Hot and thousands of other things, and Janet Leigh, most notably from Psycho. So that helped her. Deborah Hill knew that hiring the daughter of the woman from Psycho was going to give this film some cachet, though she did earn the part. She, when she auditioned, John Carpenter said that he felt like she really conveyed this like depth to her.
Yeah. Yep. He definitely saw something in her. And I just think it's really, really cool because I think that, and she's proven herself in so many roles in her career. She's definitely a great actress. Definitely great.
All right, sorry, dealing with. All right, mods, get rid of grandma.
I just try to do it, but I'm not a mod. If you want to make me a mod real quick, I can knock it out.
Yeah, say something in the chat and I'll make you a mod.
All right, I just put up a little hello.
All
I said,
right,
hey.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
We usually get a lot of assholes in the gory hole, but when we do, sick 'em, mods, sick 'em.
That's right.
So, and the movie shot in Pasadena, which I said I just went on a trip to California, got to check out all these cool places. It's crazy because, John Carpenter loved the street that had these big trees overhanging and stuff, and it is kind of creepy, but it's like this small little slice of middle America right in the middle of Hollywood. It's crazy. And you can visit the Strode House. Those people are rad. Some of the places we went to, like I went to the Garbage Day House from Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. I went to a lot of houses. But the Strode House was the most welcoming because they have a pumpkin out there all year round. They welcome you. They have like a little brochure thing that has pictures from the movie and stuff. They welcome you to sit on that little place where Lori sat and take your picture and stuff with their pumpkin. So they're really rad. And the Myers house, it used to be near there too. It's since been moved. Now it's an insurance company. It's been a dentist office. It's been a few different things. It's pretty and blue. I guess they don't like it, but come on, guys. What did you expect when you bought the Myers house?
Right?
I'm sorry. I don't think I'm walking in that house to buy insurance, man. I'm like, you know what?
I know. And
if they advertise, go inside. Well, if they advertise we have killer rates, they literally mean it, man. Killer rates.
And this movie launched Jamie Lee Curtis into becoming a scream queen, which maybe if you got affiliated with her later on, you wouldn't know. But she did prom. John Carpenter was surprised she didn't get any work after this. He thought she was going to blow up. So he put her in the fog. And then she got prom night and did Terror Train. And then she was kind of like the scream queen for a little bit. And then she wanted to shift gears after Halloween 2 and kind of focus on like comedies and stuff because she's terrified of horror movies. Guys, watch her commentary. She is so funny. She gets so scared on this and the H2O one. She is so just bless her heart. She's adorable. So yeah, checking back in with Loomis. We're kind of going back and forth from this like these girls who have no idea what is in store for them, these babysitters, and this man who is on the hunt for Michael Myers because he knows absolutely something horrible is going to happen. So he is here with Dr. Wynn, who we later find out is the Man in Black. If you're into your Thorn trilogy.
That's right.
50 miles away from here. Now, for God's sakes, he can't drive a car. He was doing very well last night. Maybe someone around here gave him lessons.
I love that line.
As a matter of fact, in the novelization and in some unshot stuff from part 6, Wynn did give him lessons.
Yeah.
There you
Taught him
go.
how to drive.
Go.
Yes.
How do you guys think that played out? How do you think Michael Myers learning how to drive played out?
Oh man. To even think about it, I'm glad they didn't show it, because that's the
No.
thing, is like you don't want to see, and they've been smart about it in a lot of these movies with Michael. There's some things with Michael you don't want to see. You just don't want to see it, because it takes away from that mythology, so to speak, that special vibe that he has. Could you imagine him though trying to learn? Shift it, Michael, shift it.
Yeah, there's actually a really funny
Turn
short
the
film by
wheel.
Adam Green that you can watch over on the Arioscope channel, where someone's trying to give him lessons, and basically they're terrified of dying, so that's why he ultimately passes, even though he does a horrible job.
Jeez.
I can see him knocking cones over, everywhere other than the parking lot.
There's a few movies in this franchise that we've talked about, and some of the criticisms I've heard on Part 4 and H2O kind of bugged me. A lot of people are like, oh, they're so slow. Like Halloween, this movie gets a big pass from a lot of people, and I don't think that's fair, because nothing fucking happens in this movie until the end. Nothing. He walks around, he creeps her out, he looks at her. That is what he does. And even though when he starts killing people, he does some stabbings, which is really creepy and really good. But that's why 4 was like that. That's why Halloween H2O was like that, because they were paying tribute to it. But because those movies came out in the later part of the 80s and then in the 90s, expectations were so much different. I think people are unfair to those films, which in my opinion are the truest to the original of the franchise.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, it's so Scream. It's really not. It has some dialogue that's a little Scream-like, but it's very, H2O is very much in line with the 78 one, in my opinion.
I think it's in line with it pretty well too. And 4 as well. 4 has a lot of great atmosphere. Like it really feels like it's Halloween time, fall, and I really love the atmosphere in 4. It's great.
Yeah.
So many scenes.
Yep.
So let's take a look at Michael stalking, which is really, really creepy. Sometimes it's kind of funny. It goes from being really creepy to being really scary to being kind of funny, kind of being creepy again. Just depends on your mood. But here's Michael.
Love this scene.
Look at him.
Wow.
He's chilling.
Like sometimes when I see it, I giggle because I picture him like holding up the boombox.
Yes.
Like he is just fixated on her. And so like, what do you think it is? Do you think he's interested in her? Is he fascinated by her? Does he want to kill her?
Well, I've heard a lot of things. I've heard some people say that she reminds him of Judith, because of course this is before the brother sister angle. I've heard a lot of people say that it's because she reminds him of Judith, and when she's singing, it's kind of like almost like a handshake, so to speak, welcome him into her world, and of course what she's saying, I wish I had you all.
She's talking about Ben Dramer though.
Well, true, but Michael don't know
That's
that.
my theory. That's my theory.
Yeah. But yeah, I've always wondered about that. What was it that drew him to her?
Well, I think if we're following, which of course always goes back to which timeline do we want to talk about? Because if we're going to go with the traditional timeline where she's his sister, then I think he is drawn. And if we want to really incorporate the Thorn trilogy, then there's a supernatural thing drawing him to her, because that's what he has to do, is he has to kill everybody. And so there's almost something inside of him like drawing him. I have to stay on her and kill. If you follow that timeline, then I think he's definitely driven to kill her to finish what he was born to do.
I think what I really like about these streams is we have conversations and they make me look at things differently. Night, you said something I really liked earlier about how he's kind of turning off the lights in these people, trying to making them like him, the blackest eyes, the devils, and just empty inside. And she has a big light. It's like she just radiates light. She just seems like a sweet, innocent, sunshine and flowers kind of gal. And I think that's caught his attention. And it's like, okay, I'm going to go put that out.
Good point.
Like people are jack-o'-lanterns for him to blow out. And she's a really bright one. And she was at his house.
Yep.
I don't know. That's just something that just popped in my head. But it's something that I'm kind of thinking about now.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I think that's the thing about this movie that is so interesting. And again, going back to the whole idea of the mythology, because you wonder, you question, you come up with theories, and I've heard so many, and even tonight, all of us, is interesting stuff, and it can work, it can fit, and I think
Yeah.
that was also the magic, with Carpenter and Deborah Hill, because they left a lot of things that was ambiguous, so that we could interpret things, in multiple angles. I mean, it's just a sign of a really great story.
And that scene we just looked at,
True.
that was our first good look at the shape. And it was recreated in H2O with Michelle Williams. It's recreated in Rob Zombie's Halloween. It's recreated in 2018. It's pretty iconic. But yeah, that was the first time we had really seen the Michael Myers mask. And the other thing I like about it is John Carpenter has said that, this wasn't a morality tale. Like some people kind of got on them and said, well, it's basically you have sex, you die. And that wasn't what he was trying to do. It was essentially her friends are very distracted with, boys and school and cheerleading and stuff. And Lori isn't. She's very focused on, I have to babysit. And she is the one who notices the creepy guy following them around. She's paying attention. And that's why largely she survives, is because she's paying attention.
Yep. I agree.
Same.
Okay, so then the other person who's paying attention, because Lori isn't the only one. In fact, there's one point where Lori later on is distracted. But the other person who pays attention is Tommy Doyle, because he is obsessed with the boogeyman. I actually really love the Tommy Doyle and Rob Zombie's Halloween. He's so cute. This is boogeyman business, but this kid is obsessed with the boogeyman. Brian Andrews does a great job here, but yeah, he's getting bullied. The kid with the dark hair is Erwin Yoblin's son. That clip of them saying the boogeyman's gonna get you, that is used at the beginning of Rob Zombie's song Boogeyman. And then this stunt we're about to see, this kid did it himself, which it could have gone wrong because kids are clumsy. But I have a very particular reason why I picked this clip.
Yeah.
He writes that kid. He could have stripped that kid. He could have slapped that kid. He could have knocked him down. He's just like, there you go, partner.
Yeah.
It's off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Or almost, I used to think too, it's almost like he's seeing, a reflection of what he was, you know what I'm saying? And it's almost like a moment of like, whoa, hey. And it's like, again, we don't see Michael's face, but I always imagine him kind of staring at that kid, kind of like, not saying I used to be you, but that's what's going on. He recognizes that little piece of his past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he doesn't. He just doesn't seem interested in the kids very much. He isn't interested in Tommy Doyle, though. He's really interested in Tommy Doyle. A lot of people wore the mask at various different places in the movie, but largely the one who did the most was Nick Castle, who has gone on to have a great career writing and directing. He one of his movies I really like is The Last Starfighter, which
Love it.
got Lance Guest from after seeing him in Halloween 2, and it's got Cochran in it too. But he also did like Major Payne and Dennis the Menace and The Boy Who Could Fly. He did a lot of stuff. So yeah, he ended up having a really big career. He's popped up a couple times as the Shape, but yeah, he's great in this movie. He adds a lot to the character in this. I feel like Dick Warlock's is more like a machine, which is actually really true to what John Carpenter had envisioned Michael Myers as. There's a gunslinging character in Westworld, and that's how he kind of envisioned Michael Myers as almost like a robot. And Dick Warlock, I feel, does that better than anybody else.
Yes.
But this is the Michael Myers to me that is more like that kid pulling the wings off the flies. Just like, he's really curious. It doesn't seem hateful. It doesn't seem angry. It's just mostly really curious.
Yeah.
But sick and twisted.
Very.
Absolutely. Even like at the end when he comes back, after being stabbed, right at the closet, and he's walking behind Lori, and he's just kind of going like that, and it's almost like I wonder what's going on in his mind. You know what I mean? Because she doesn't know he's there, but yet he's just kind of taking his time. And I've always wondered that's the thing about Michael. You ask those questions. Like I don't ask those questions about a lot of horror icons, you know.
And I feel like there's a little bit of that kid in him. One, he loves the holiday.
Yes.
I think the movie's named Halloween for a reason. He does love the holiday.
Mhm.
And he loves tricks. Like he's almost like a grown-up version of Sam from Trick or Treat. Like he puts on the ghost sheet. Like he doesn't have to do that. He's doing it because it's fun. He puts the little glasses on. Like he's doing a trick. You know? She wasn't doing, as far as I interpret it, she wasn't following the rules, so now she gets tricks. You know, like I could see Michael, like a lot of it, I feel like in his own way, he's kind of having fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he sets the victims up.
He very rarely seems angry.
Yeah.
He's never in a hurry.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He just takes his time and he knows he'll get his mission. Whatever it is, he's going to get it done.
The person who is in a hurry is Loomis. And this is the only kill, I mean, because we weren't there to see it.
Right.
But this one always kind of creeps me out where he finds the truck and he finds the Rabbit and Rent matchbook, which he remembers being inside his car. And so he knows Michael has been here. And so he runs off, but he never notices the body of the mechanic, which is really kind of creepy. The other thing about this scene is really important is Donald Pleasance didn't give a lot, because he didn't quite understand the whole movie right away. He didn't give a lot of feedback on this one for Loomis, but this scene he did. He actually completely changed the scene and they reshot it, because originally in the scene, Loomis calls his wife and says, "I'm going to be home. Everything's fine. It's not going to be that late." And Loomis, or Donald Pleasance, said, "That's not who this man is. This man never got married. This man never had a life. This man devoted his life to keeping Michael Myers locked up. He doesn't have a wife." So now the scene is him calling Haddonfield and telling the police, "Evil's coming to your town. Get ready. Rally up." And they're not listening.
Right.
Yeah. Nice.
And the comics introduced that he had like a girlfriend or something at one point, maybe before Myers, but I believe that too. I believe he has breathed Michael Myers.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, the way he is characterized, you totally believe that. This is like I said, I always think of him as like Van Helsing. You know, he is totally on mission all the time. You know, when he, finds out where Michael is and so forth. And he's the only one that knows. Yeah, he knows he's the only one. You know what I mean? So to me, that's always been a great thing about his character too, because he has that within himself, that drive to go up against this thing that he knows isn't human. You know, how scary is that? You know, he's not a young man. You know, he's got a gun, but I mean, still, he's very brave.
It's true, man.
And we go back to this is my favorite scene of Linda. It's our first scene where we're introduced to Linda. I love the exchange between her and Laurie. Like, look at Jamie Lee Curtis's face in this clip. She just looks like she's just wowed. And like, I think we've all had friends like that where we're just like, "Wow, you're so cool." Like, I wish I was as cool. Like, especially in high school, I think you have friends like that. And so I love this little clip here.
We have 3 new cheers to learn in the morning. The game is in the afternoon. I have to get my hair done at 5, and the dance is at 8. I'll be totally wiped out.
I don't think you have enough to do tomorrow.
Totally.
And the totally that was something Beverly Hill added because PJ Souls says totally all the time. So she added it in there, and I think it's so funny, especially when you watch this movie with like a crowd of people. Everyone will just be like, "Totally."
Yeah, I know.
I can see that.
And she delivers it so well too.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yep. Very natural. Yes, it was.
We see the whole group together. The girls. There's Annie, who's kind of the smart ass. Linda, who I guess is the one who's kind of like the cheerleader and into boys and stuff, and doesn't really care about school at all. And then Laurie, who's like the Girl Scout, as she puts it. So, all walking home, kind of like giving each other shit like you do with your friends in high school and stuff. High school relationships are really different. When you get older, I think you're a little more willing to be like vulnerable with your friends and stuff and just say what you feel. But in high school, you give each other a lot of shit. You play with each other, and that's what these girls do. And then you push your boundaries a lot. And I talked a bit before about how like this movie is a lot of things that we perceive to be safe, and underneath it, there's something really scary. And one of the best scenes of that, I think, is when they see the car, which by the way is not speeding. I've seen this movie a dozen times. He is slowly Luigi Mario Kart driving by the girls and staring at them. He is not speeding. But yeah, she shouts at him, and she doesn't know that this person isn't crazy, that they don't have a gun, that they're not going to come back over and beat the crap out of him, that they're not going to come over and drag him into the car. She has this idea that she's immortal because she's young and she doesn't really know that much. But it's really, really foolish.
Yes, it is. You know, it's like she has no clue. And we as the audience, we do. That's what makes that scene work too. You know,
when he slams those brakes, it's like, oh, what is he gonna do? I think he's just messing with them. But here, let's take a look at that.
Hey, jerk! Speed kills!
But yeah, it definitely scares the girl. She's girls, you know, but it's unnerving. You don't know, you know, it like when you flip off a person on another car, you hear about stuff all the time. I've heard some horrible stories people have done from like road rage and stuff, but that's the thing. You assume you're safe, but you have no idea who is in that car. You have no idea what they're capable of.
Yep, that's right.
True.
But it's something that we do all the time. We, you know, people do it. Well, not all of us, but there are people who do that stuff all the time who assume that they're safe because they've, you know, been safe before, but you really don't know. And in this case, they have no idea that that's a murderer.
Yep,
that's right.
If only they knew.
If only.
Right.
And of course, you know, like I said, there's a lot of like just the stalking. Do you guys want to see Michael Myers hide behind a bush? You feel like you're in the mood?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I love
Michael Myers hiding behind a bush. It reminds me of that Simpsons meme.
I love it.
There's actually, if you go visit that hedge, there's a sign that says Haddonfield on it now, which is really cool.
Nice. And of course, in that scene, you see the little bit of puff of smoke from John Carpenter himself.
Yes, you do. You
from
do.
his cigarette.
Oh, that's
so here's
hilarious.
the thing. They get up there and he's already gone. And then there's also this scene here. So how is he so fast? I wonder, like, was the intention to make us wonder, is she hallucinating it? Because you know what? In H2O, this happens, the exact same thing, which again, why I say that movie is very much in line with this film. She sees Michael all over the place, and we know it's her PTSD, he's not there. When he finally is there, she's not ready. In this, we know he's actually there, but how is he so damn fast?
Yeah. Yep.
The shape.
Yep.
Just like in Ends, remember? Night with Corey Cunningham. Recreated the scene. He's at the bush. And then she walks outside and immediately, like, he's behind her. Yeah. There was nothing there. It was not there a minute ago.
There's no way she couldn't have seen him.
There's no way. Yeah. And you don't even see him walk up. He's just there.
Yep.
It's really bizarre. It's the shape. It's a supernatural something.
Do you think he can teleport?
I mean, it looked like Corey did anyway. I know we're talking about 78, but it makes you wonder.
It's true, man.
I guess he part ghost? Because, I mean, he's fast. He doesn't make a single noise.
Superhumanly fast, and he can be there in 1 second, gone the next. He in H2O, it's funny because H2O came on after 78 on the AMC Marathon. And even in H2O at the end, you know, he was quiet throughout the whole movie. And then, of course, when he was in the finale with Laurie, when he would walk, you could hear him step, you know, and it was like, it's almost like he could just turn it on, turn it off. He can be that physical force, brute force, and then he could be light as a feather and as invisible as air. You know, it's just crazy. You know,
He's like a ghost. I mean, I am Team Loomis on this one. He is not human. I don't care what any of the directors tell you. Michael Audrey Myers is not human. There, I said it.
hey,
I'm not gonna argue with it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with it either, man. He got shot 6 times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Walking, you know.
That's right.
There's only 2 parts of this movie where Lori isn't paying attention, which, hey, she is only human. The one we're going to see, and then later on, another one comes up. But this time it's because she's really fixated on, why is this guy following me? Which she should be. I think anybody would be.
Excuse me,
Oh,
Laurie.
Mr. Brackett, I'm sorry, Mr. Brackett.
Oh, I didn't mean to startle you.
That's all right.
You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
I love her
And she
yelling.
covers her mouth there because she's laughing.
Yes. Yep.
So cute.
Yes. She's
So
great.
great.
Man. She's great.
And
Everything about her.
something I used to always think was an artistic choice, but it's actually because this movie ran really short. They held all these shots as long as they possibly could to fill runtime, but it does effectively make the movie scarier. There's when the girls walk, they'll keep walking. Like a lot of these scenes, they go on a few seconds longer than they normally would, but I think it makes you feel like it's kind of voyeuristic, like someone's watching them.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
The atmosphere in the movie, like, you know, and I know a lot of people, they look at it like it's a slow burn and so forth, and it is, but the atmosphere and the creepiness and the music, you know, to me, that's what allows that to work, you know, even though there's not much going on until the finale, like you said, but it's this atmosphere that kind of, at least for me, it just keeps me invested. It keeps me moving forward, waiting and seeing, is he going to do it now? Is he? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's there. Wait a minute. He's gone. What's going on? How can he do that? All these questions, all this atmosphere, all this stuff going around, and it fills in the void of the kills and the action and all these big time things to me, you know?
Tatum says she loves that scene. We got Beth, Miss 80s here. Love having her in the glory hole. Maverick says that scene continues. You see 2 dudes pop their heads over a hedge behind Lori. I'm gonna have to go back and take a look at that.
Yeah. Yep.
Michael putting out his watching. That's also something that part 6 pays tribute to. There's a lot of that in this franchise. I think it's just because people love this first movie so much. And Patrick's here with hashtag all dude vampire. Yeah, we gotta get our Fight Night Witches going here soon. I was gonna do it Sunday, but I think I might be doing Halloween Ends now, and I might have to move it back. But yeah, Peeping Tom is a good proto slasher there, Wayne. You know your slashers. Well done there. Yeah, I love that line from Brackett. Charles Cyphers is great. He's in so much stuff. He's in so much Carpenter stuff. He pops up in the weirdest places. He's in Grizzly too. He's just just a treasure. He is a treasure.
Yes. Yep.
But,
Escape from New York.
Yeah, he's great. Charles Cyphers is really cool. And speaking of scenes that they added to fill runtime, well, actually, we're not quite there yet. No. Well, we talked earlier about Lori being kind of like childlike in a way, you know? In some ways she's very mature, but in some ways, like, she is still very much a young girl. And I think one of the scenes that kind of solidifies that, I didn't notice it until I watched the commentary, but that's what Carpenter was saying. He's like, I wanted her to walk like awkwardly, like a child, like not sophisticated, like a lady. She's a lady. Whoa. No. This is Lori doing a little Lori waddle with a pumpkin across the street.
Yeah, look at that. Yep.
She's just awkward, you know,
Yeah,
and
awkward.
you know, like, she's going to be that woman who's in that trilogy, who's in H2O, who's going to grow up to be a force.
Yeah.
But you know, Michael is catching her before she's, you know, quite ready to be facing somebody like him.
Yeah.
She's never had to deal with anything like that. She's been sheltered.
Yeah. And even in the finale, you know, she has to build up to that point where she, you know, fights back, you know, and it's believable, you know, she's not a warrior or anything. She's a she's a student, and she gets to that point where she has to defend herself, and then she builds up, and next thing you know, she's defending these kids that she's in charge of and babysitting and responsible for. And to me, just that little finale was a great little mini arc for her character, as a great final girl.
Yeah, I 100% agree. She has this line she won't cross. She is Laurie Strode. Laurie Strode is not a fighter. She's a good babysitter. She's a good student. She's a good daughter. She is not a fighter. Even in part 2, like Loomis hands her the gun and she pushes it back like, nope, I don't do guns. And, I tease her a lot because she's no Sydney Prescott. Sydney Prescott, you don't fuck with her, all right? She will knock your ass over. Lori, she, every time she gets a weapon, we're going to look at it more in the finale. Every time she gets a weapon, she throws it away. And I think it's because she doesn't want to embrace that part of her, that darkness that everyone has. She's not ready to embrace that. And so she wants to get rid of it. Though there are a couple different interpretations of that, which I think are interesting. I think I'll say that. Well, one of the interpretations, is that Lori and Michael are both sexually repressed. And so they're fighting each other with these like phallic objects. And that's why they're in the finale. And other people say that the weapons Lori picks are traditionally feminine, a knitting needle, a hanger in a closet and stuff. And so they say that she's actually using the feminine to fight his masculine with the pointy knife. We're getting into like theory stuff here.
That's interesting stuff. I could see a lot of that. It makes sense, especially coming from her point of view as the character we see in the movie, how she's characterized, how Jamie portrayed her. I like that. That's really interesting.
It is. Wow. I wonder if Deborah Hill and John Carpenter actually put that thought into it, or if it's something where it was a happy accident, happy coincidence, and that we're looking back on it.
He says all the time that this was a very simple movie, so I don't think so. But I think what happens when you are being authentic, when you're coming at it going, what would real people do? What's the scary thing that can happen to a real person? You get some deeper layers. When you come at a movie and you're just about what's going to scare people, what's going to make people jump, what's going to put money in my pocket, I think you don't get that. But when you come at this going like, how would these girls behave? What are they afraid of and stuff?
Right.
Then you uncover kind of these like little hidden truths about what it is to be human.
Yeah, and of course, and a lot of actors do this anyways. They kind of come up with their own backstory on the character based upon what was written in the script. So of course, us as fans can look at it and say, okay, well, this is what that character was. Now, I wonder what might have happened to get them to that point that we saw in the movie, or how they do things. So it's very interesting stuff. And you get that with a good movie, like you said, if it's coming from a genuine place,
People who really just want to tell a story.
Absolutely. Yep.
So I've been here. There's a trick to finding the Judith Myers grave if you go to the cemetery. You can Google it. My friend does tours, movie set tours on, or not movie location tours in Hollywood. So he took us to all the places. But this cemetery is really close to the church from the fog. All this stuff is really close together. But if you want to find the Judith Myers grave, you go to the cemetery, look for Tufts. It's right next to this big tombstone that says Tufts. So we're gonna check out where's Judith Myers?
And I thought
Myers. He came home.
He came home.
Right there. It's nothing is there now. There's no hole or nothing. But it's just they've left it bare. There's no graves there. So it's crazy though, because that looks like it's in the middle of suburbia. That's like in the middle of it's this tiny, tiny little cemetery, and it's like in the middle of like a town.
Oh man.
It's in the middle of Hollywood. You're not that far from Hollywood here. So it's crazy. There's palm trees everywhere. Like it's movie magic right there.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Why do you think he took his sister's gravestone?
Well,
how did he look?
I mean, because he's Michael Myers. But I think I think he's fixated on his sister, fixated on that night. This is the
Mhm.
first time he's out of Smith's Grove since, obviously killing her. And I think there's something about him killing his sister, that meant something to him. And there's a lot of different ways you could go with that. But I think that's what it was. It's like he's back out, he's gonna go to her grave, get her headstone, and maybe even try to recreate that night. That's the other thing.
That's good. He seems almost like
Hmm.
a serial killer, and like how serial killers have mementos. Like he's
Mhm.
Yes.
attached to objects. He's attached to the mask. He's attached to the
Yes.
coveralls. So maybe that's like what it is with the tombstone. It's a connection to Judith.
Yeah, I think so. That's how I've always looked at it.
Yeah, it's almost he can't have her, so he can, he's gonna recreate. Plus, he
Like a
kind
trophy.
of wanted to, he wanted to kind of recreate in a way what he did before,
Mhm.
and so it's almost in a way maybe it's honoring, trying to in a weird twisted way like honor her, like having her tombstone there and remembering her death, and
Mhm.
now
Part of
I don't know, it's interesting.
part of me also thinks it's kind of like, because he literally is making a haunted house. Bob
Mhm.
drops. Linda's in the cupboard. Annie's there with the tombstone. Like, I think he's also kind of thinking, like, what else would be really, really creepy? Because he loves that. He loves Halloween. He really does.
Yeah. Yep.
I want
I
him
agree.
and Sam to team up. Sam from Trick or Treat. They seem to have
Yeah.
they get it, dude. You like taking trick or treating. That's so sweet. They are in the same wavelength. Absolutely.
Right.
So of course the hardware store has been robbed, and I love Haddonfield. Bless their hearts. They stole rope, kitchen knives, and a Halloween mask. Anybody would be like, I would be like, someone's gonna rob a bank.
Mhm.
That's what's happening.
Of course.
Yeah.
What would you think? He thinks it's kids playing a Halloween prank. That's not where I would go.
Well, and it
Yeah.
just shows how normal and just boring, at least that's how I looked at it, that Haddonfield is. Nothing ever happens. So it's no big deal. A couple knives, they're just pranking. And it just shows how
Yeah.
everything was always just so even though obviously, Michael killed Judith, but it's still nothing much happens. They're not thinking there's gonna be a bloodbath or anything.
That's
Like,
right. Very
I
much.
think it's Hills,
Yeah.
Haddonfield, where nothing ever happens. Nothing interesting ever happens.
Nothing ever happens.
Right.
Yeah. It's just and I love this. I love Gerald's comment here. That's what every time I watch this movie, I think the same thing. I want to know what the little caretaker was saying. He went,
Yes!
got a hacksaw,
Yes.
and he
Yes,
came back and he's like, shut him off. I'm like, no.
Glad you
Right.
pointed that out, Gerald, because it shows how dogged Loomis is.
Yep.
He's not even listening. He's just like,
No.
dude, I just need to get to her grave.
That's
I
right.
don't have time for this shit.
Mhm.
Like he
Yep.
has, that's why I agree that he's no way he's married. No way he even has friends. He
Yep.
has no patience for anything that is not Michael Myers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Fixated.
Yeah.
He saw into the devil's eyes, and he knew. He's
He
like,
knew.
I've got to stop you at any cost.
Mhm.
And again, and again, he doesn't get infected by that evil. He's
I think
He's a
eventually he
good-
does.
right.
I
Well, I
thought.
mean, yeah,
5 and
he does-
6, but
Yeah, he doesn't cross over to Sartain level, is what I mean.
Are you eating
Like,
candy corn? Because I'm jealous if you are. Like,
no,
don't rub that on your face, bro. Don't do that.
I'm not. I snuck a little M&M, a little peanut
Ah.
M&M. Those little, Halloween packets, those little fun
It's
things.
cool as long as it's not candy corn.
I've been trying to mute myself.
On sale. No, you're fine. It's Halloween.
It's
Everyone's
Halloween,
entitled
you
to
know?
one good treat.
There you go.
By the way, Danny, if you're watching, can I have some Dr. Pepper? I live on Dr.
Aw.
Pepper, much like some other greats like Nick Castle and Toby Hooper. That's what we have in
Nice.
common.
Very
Yep.
cool.
And I also love the girls. The girls also, even Lori, who, we do talk about how she pays attention. She does miss stuff. She should be going,
Mhm.
what the actual fuck?
Yeah.
She is really paranoid that Bracken knows she's smoking weed. That's
right.
all she cares about in this scene.
Yeah, that's right.
She was smoking weed. She does not want to get caught. And Annie is just like playing around with her dad. I think what is really sad about this scene though is that is the last time he sees his daughter alive.
I know.
It's terrible.
I know. And I did feel bad, like especially in 2 when they uncovered her body and stuff. I was just like, oh man, that sucks. Because you get invested into Brackett.
You really do.
We don't spend a hell of a lot of time with him.
Oh
But,
no.
Mhm.
Roy?
Oh. I love it.
Roy, Jason would get me Dr. Pepper. Fuck. Okay, fine. Sunkist is fine. It's fine.
Oh, denied.
Shit.
wow.
Damn it. Well, I fucked that up.
God.
Here's something.
You guys are crazy.
That's horrible. Oh
My
God.
house, guys. I
Oh.
think that was a Canadian Roy. I don't know. But yeah, let's take a look at the scene here, which again, Lori does have a joint in this, but she still does it, and Jamie Lee Curtis says this in the commentary. She does it like a good girl. She can't quite do it right. Whereas Annie's just like a boss, like, yeah. Like she's all Snoop Dogg over there with her joint. She's
Right.
Cheech and Chong. Lori is not.
Oh gosh.
6 straight hours of horror movies. Little Lindsay Wallace won't know what hit her.
I love when she first picks it up too. I don't have that in the clip, but she kind of looks at it like, "What are you for an object?"
Yes. Jamie was so good at that role. I'm
She
telling
is
you.
so good.
You believed her. You truly believed her. And you, like I said, you're on her team right from the beginning. At least I am.
And
100%.
again, I feel like this movie is so much about like pay attention, because you
Mhm.
don't know what you're. Oh shit! Hold on.
Yeah, pay attention, girl.
Oh.
I see those shares.
Oh.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh my
she's
gosh.
She's not Deborah Voorhees. She's
No!
Laurie Strode.
No, I'm Laurie Strode. I'm
Who's
a
about
couple letters off from Deborah Voorhees, if you know what I mean,
Right?
and I think you do.
Hey,
Oh,
I'm not saying nothing.
I'm not either.
Oh my God, you're all
but
right,
yes, I
girl.
get it.
Oh yeah, we do.
We definitely get
Holy
it.
moly! Wow, that was
Oh,
good. That was
dang.
the
Deborah
that was the
Voorhees
best.
was a gifted
that-
woman.
That was the best joke of the night, hands down.
It is hands
I might
down.
have to clip that. Oh my God.
Yep. And she's the only one that could say that joke.
Yeah.
We're not.
That's right.
That's it.
Nope. Memories.
Deborah Voorhees, awesome lady.
She is fantastic. Oh my God.
Yes, she
She really
is.
does. She's
Yeah.
so good in that.
Yeah.
I am excited, guys. I've enjoyed this Halloween. I'm kind of sad we're coming to the end of it, but I want to do more of these. I want to do, I'm going to do Scream before the new movie comes out.
Oh,
Nice.
So to Scream. I want to do
know.
Friday the 13th, probably before the new series comes out. So I'm excited. We're going to have some more journeys.
Yes. Can't wait.
absolutely,
Oh my
man.
gosh.
I love
I
all. I
can't
love
wait.
them all. But yeah, this
Yeah.
movie is. I feel like this movie. It's just warning you that there's so much going on in the world, and there's no way you can possibly like see everything. But just it's just kind of telling you to be aware. Be aware of your surroundings. Because, gosh, this scene here, guys, this scene kills me. You guys know what scene I'm talking about, right?
Probably.
Loomis. Loomis.
yeah.
Look behind Loomis.
One of my
Yes.
favorites.
Yes, I
Shouting
love
at
it.
the screen moment here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There he
There
is.
he is.
There he is, right
At
there.
the sign. And look at him. He's just
Unbelievable. And look at
like-
Michael.
He's just like whenever I see that, I think of we watched a movie, their characters of Michael and Loomis, just like I expect Michael to just be like, "What's up?"
I'm surprised Michael didn't honk the horn like honk honk as he's
I
like
know.
driving by.
Right.
He's being a little shit. He's being
Yeah, he is.
he's like a kid.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Crazy.
He's
scene,
pushing
man.
his boundaries. It's his
Mhm.
honestly, this is the
It's
first
true.
time he's been out since he was 6 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's
You
his
know,
night on the
he's-
town.
He's out and about and
Stretching his legs, man.
rocking that station wagon.
Yeah, he is.
So the scene that comes after this, where they needed a scene to show that the sun was going down, And they also needed to film more time because this movie is very, very short. It's a very simple story. It's exceedingly simple. And again, that's why I really hate it when people beat up some of the sequels. They're like, oh, well, it didn't have much of a story. I'm like, I'm sorry. Did you see the original Halloween? It doesn't have much of a story. That's kind of the beauty of it. So if you're trying to pay tribute to it, you're going to do kind of the same thing. Movies have lots of different things to bring value to them. And the value of this one, a lot of it is the simplicity of it, that it could just happen anywhere. It's a story that could take place anywhere. It doesn't even have to be Halloween. It's just one awful day in these girls' lives.
Yep.
That could happen to anybody.
That's right.
That's right. Sure can.
I like that the girls are listening to Don't Fear the Reaper. They talk about Ben Tramer, guys. Ben Tramer, Bennett Tramer, right. Who is named after a friend of John Carpenter's.
Yes.
He comes back in part 2. But yeah, Laurie isn't a nun, She has crushes on boys. She does like stuff like that. I think she kind of wants to go to the dance, but she's really shy. I was the same kind of person in school. If my friend told me they talked to a boy that I liked, I'd been like, you were flipping dead. No, you call him up right now. You tell him you were kidding. Like, I would be more mean about it than Laurie because she's a sweetheart. But I would have been mortified.
Right.
She's mortified. Even though Ben Tramer sounds like he's down,
right.
When he's done drinking and his Michael Myers mask.
Right.
You know how traumatized she would be if she actually went to the dance with him the next day and he was wearing that?
Right.
Oh man.
Oh man, I love it.
It also establishes that the Doyle and Wallace's house are right across the street from each other, which plays a lot into this movie. It's why they're getting a ride together, and kind of sets the stage for everything. So then we get into what I call the babysitting portion because we've done the stalking part. Now we're in the babysitting part. Okay. Adventures in Babysitting. That's a whole other movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Love that movie. So I'll show you there's a few things I really love about this whole babysitting part. I'll show you a little clip, just one of my favorite lines.
What about the jack-o'-lantern?
Half the movie.
What about the rest of my comic books?
Half the jack-o'-lantern.
What about the boogeyman?
There's no such thing.
Just like that dialogue between them, it's like spitfire dialogue. But yeah, she seems to genuinely be enjoying hanging out with this kid. She brought him a pumpkin. She's considerate. She's thoughtful. Meanwhile, poor Lindsay's watching The Thing by herself. She just wants to watch the movie, and Annie's like, "We need to go. We got to go get my boyfriend." But I love how invested Lindsay is in The Thing, which, by the way, the reason they chose that movie, yes, it is one of John Carpenter's favorites. He obviously ended up remaking it later on, but he didn't have a lot of movies that he owned. He had a laser disc of The Thing from Another World. That's why it's in there. It was from his personal collection.
That's cool.
Yeah. I love that.
That's one I hadn't heard yet. The Thing. Yeah.
Oh, finally, a fun fact you hadn't heard yet.
That's one I had not heard, actually. No, it's a new one for me.
I try to get some good ones.
You got some good ones, though.
Oh, you got great ones. Heck yeah. Believe me, not everyone is as nerdy about this movie as Night and I. Okay, this is not yours. Trust me. You're probably blowing a lot of people's minds tonight. They're like, "Oh, what? Really? What?"
Absolutely.
Considering how, like I said, I was at it was a Misfits cover band Halloween night, and nobody there even knew the movie Halloween. So I'm sure. Like, when I was preparing for this, I was like, "Oh, don't put the William Shatner thing. Everyone knows." And I was just like, "There are people who don't know this movie." But you know what? They don't watch my show. So there we have it. Actually, there's one person who knew what my costume was, and he was dressed up as Batty from Fern Gully. So.
Whoa!
Nice.
And one of my good friends was dressed up as Jack Torrance, which I'm gonna post some pictures on Instagram after this. I was waiting because I wanted to, save my costume. But yeah, he had a great Jack Torrance costume.
Oh, I'd love to see.
We were representing some early 80s, late 70s horror.
Nice.
So Annie, bless her heart, she leaves Lindsay. Like Lindsay, I totally relate. She's sitting there and she's just enjoying her movie. She's fine. She doesn't want to go anywhere, but she wants to watch the movie of Tommy Doyle. Tommy Doyle's cool. She's down for that. She doesn't want to go pick up freaking Paul, who's grounded.
Oh, gosh.
Again, breaking the rules. Paul is supposed to be grounded.
Mhm.
No, what are you doing, Paul?
Yeah.
But Annie, yeah, she spills butter on herself like a noodle, and then she has to go to the shed in like I think Lindsay's dad's shirt and do her
Yeah, it
laundry.
was.
Like, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't. I would get a washcloth and I would probably try to just sop up it as best I could and then dry it. I would not let a little girl see me in my panties. It's just,
Hey,
we don't have our lines.
it was the 70s.
It was
know?
a different time.
It was. It was a
I
special time.
love Lindsay finds her and she's trying to get out of the shed that she's locked herself in, which I've watched it just to see if it's Michael Myers a dozen times. Seen this movie a billion freaking times. Keeps getting funnier every time I see it now. Michael Myers does not lock her in there. She locks herself in there.
Yeah.
And poor Lindsay like finds her. She's like, "Why'd you lock yourself in?" Her butt's like hanging out the window.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she makes her swear not to tell anybody. The moment they get back on site, she tells Paul on the phone. She locked herself out.
I know. It's like, wow.
She got stuck in a window.
Yep.
Stuck in the
Betrayal.
window. Betrayal. Yeah.
She convinces Lindsay that to go over to Tommy Doyle's house and watch the movie over there with Lori because Lori's awesome, and she comes through once again. But then Annie dies, and so again, I love Halloween, guys. I do think Halloween gets put kind of on a pedestal where people are like, it's a great work of art. And Friday there are people who consider Halloween to be this refined, sophisticated work of art. And then Jason and Chucky and Freddy are all like just horror trash, Ghostface, all that stuff. It's just, those are just slasher movies. Okay. You watch this kill here and tell me that it does not have its slasher goofy moments. This movie has intentionally goofy moments. I do think it's a masterpiece, but I think the other movies are too. But there are a lot of people who will tell you that it's like the most serious thing ever. And you can tell watching this movie, they were having a good time. They didn't take it very seriously. So not only with this movie, but the whole franchise. I just think we need to not take it so seriously. Have fun with it. It's a movie. But here's Annie's death. You guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Watch these eyes.
A little over the top. A little over the top.
Good time. She's having a good time. And hey, wow, guys, this is my biggest supercharge I've ever had. Thank you, JK. He's a horror fan. Thank you. Yes, I am Gory Strode. I had a fight with my brother earlier, but we're all good. We're all good. Guys, check out my knife.
I love it.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think next year I'm going to get a hospital gown. Huh?
Ooh, you
Good,
should.
'cause I'm sitting down, so it's all good. You only see
Do
the
it.
front.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, JK. That's awesome. Super rad. Yay. Alrighty. So Annie dies, and I think that scene's super fun. It is scary, but a couple things about that scene that I think are really interesting. Because again, I know I keep harping on this, but it's like paying attention thing. Annie goes inside to get the keys. She doesn't have the keys, but she doesn't notice when she comes out that she can open the door without the keys.
Right.
That should have been her first indicator that something's wrong.
Yep.
She doesn't notice.
She doesn't notice that she's not paying attention.
Right. And it happens, and this will probably be one of the last things I say. It happens so fast that she just, she just doesn't think about it, which is what happened to a lot of people, It's great.
That's right. And you do routine. You do things you don't think sometimes. It's like it's like not motor skills, but talking about where it's like
you're on
you
autopilot.
just automatically, like autopilot.
Mm-hmm.
And then it dawned on her, actually, like it hit her when you just see that moment when she's like, "Huh."
Yeah,
like,
and she kind of
wait
goes,
a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I love that.
Oh,
I
wow.
love that too.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Lori. Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you so much. That's like that's so
That's
incredibly generous.
that's
Thank you
amazing.
so
wow,
much.
that is so cool.
That is by
So
far the
good.
biggest super chat I've ever had.
Well,
So
just remember who
wow.
your panel was on that when you got your biggest super chat. And I
Yeah,
rest
it
my
was-
case.
yes, absolutely. God, thank you so much. And I love your costume there, all the blood and everything. That is super rad. Thank you so much for your support.
Wow.
Really, really appreciate it.
That's
Awesome.
amazing.
Very cool.
Super rad.
Wow.
So cool. All right. So next up. So then we come to we gotta check back in on Loomis, right, guys?
Oh yeah.
So he's working with what he has here. He knows Michael's probably gonna go home. So he's basically doing a stakeout of the Myers house.
Mhm.
They
Yep.
find the dog. He got hungry, you
Yep.
know. Because Michael eats dogs, which and then and he also kills Annie's dog too.
Mhm.
Yep.
A lot of people like wonder, like, you know, they did not actually hurt a dog. Nick Castle picks up the dog and they play it in slow-mo, so it looks like the dog just goes limp, but really the dog is kicking the shit out of him. The dog is like how dogs do.
Mhm.
So the dog's fine, but yeah, Michael, come on, be nice to animals, buddy. But we come to my favorite part where they are doing the teasing, like go up to the porch of the Myers house. You know, go up there, Lonnie, go on. And this is my favorite Loomis moment of the whole franchise. I love
Yeah, I
this
like it
moment.
too. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Lonnie, get your ass away from there.
I love his smile.
I know that smile is so
It's
good,
so
man.
genuine.
It
He's like so
is.
happy.
genuine.
It's so great.
It's like
Yes.
he's having a little bit of Halloween fun too.
Yes,
He
that's
is.
exactly what I was thinking. Is that he's also in the spirit of it, even though he's chasing Michael Myers. You know, he has that moment where he gives in to the spirit of Halloween. You know,
That's right.
scaring people, tricks. You know,
It's fun. It's fun to scare people. And, you know, I
oh
think
my
he's kind of
god, it
enjoying it
is.
just a little bit. You can see these moments where him and Michael are so like simpatico, you know?
Yep, yep.
But
Opposite
that's
sides
that
sides of the
smile
same
just
coin.
looks so genuine.
I love it every time.
It does. I love it
Um,
too.
but it quickly turns around because
Yeah. Bracket.
oh, I can't hear it. Oh,
Rains
that's
on
the
parade.
death has come to your town.
Mhm.
So, and the hard thing with Brackett is Brackett doesn't really take him seriously, even though at this point
Yeah.
his daughter's dead.
Yeah.
He doesn't, he's like, okay, we'll do it and stuff, but it's not until he finds out that his daughter's dead that he realizes. And I feel like, you know, because this is if we're counting Halloween too, but they have so many opportunities in this movie where the police could have been like, yeah, let's, you know, what else is Haddonfield PD doing tonight?
Yeah.
They could be driving around that neighborhood where the Myers house is. They could have been better prepared, but nobody was out there looking but Loomis.
Mhm.
It's Haddonfield. What are you guys doing?
That's right. There's nothing else going on. It's a small
No.
town.
Yeah.
You know, Dunkin' Donuts isn't going to be, you know, serving donuts all night.
Oh man.
They probably don't even have a Dunkin' Donuts.
Probably not. They probably got a Dairy Queen and that's about it.
So now we
Oh,
get
man.
into, you know, Michael's come home, guys. All right. Like now it's
Yeah.
you guys excited. This is what you've been waiting
Let's
for, right?
do it.
But
Yes,
this
let's
movie
do it.
teases you and teases you and teases you. You know he is not there to do good things. He is there to mess some stuff up in Haddonfield. Like now it's gonna happen. So I love Linda and Bob, and they show up at Annie's house, and most people, I don't know, I'm too shy. I would have just gone home. I wouldn't have gone to somebody. I wouldn't have gone to my friend's babysitting charge's house anyway.
Right.
But this is Linda and Bob, guys. They are your different breed of people. They just want to party. And so they go have sex in Lindsay's mom and dad's bed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
But afterwards, you know, Linda insists that he needs to go get her a beer. And then we get the first really satisfying kill of the movie. But I think the part everyone remembers is the part right afterwards.
Yep. There it is.
Look at that. He's just like, how does this work?
Mhm.
And I want to
Yeah.
know too, like, how is he being held up by a kitchen knife? How big is this knife?
Right? Yeah. Totally defying the laws of physics.
And guys, you have been so patient. We've been here for 2 hours. I promised you guys boobies.
Ooh.
Here you go. You guys ready? Boobies.
Hello?
I delivered. I delivered.
That was good.
So yeah, now Linda's
Oh.
gone. I think it's so cute when he has like the sheet and stuff. So yeah, like
Yeah.
Mhm.
mentally, he's still kind of like a 6-year-old kid, you know?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, he's
Yeah.
definitely still doing stuff that a kid would do. It's tricks. It's the spirit of Halloween, and he's definitely, enthralled in all that. No doubt.
I mean, not only did he put the sheet on with the eye holes, glasses on top.
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yes,
that's so
Yep.
awesome.
that takes time, and it reminds me of like anytime I ever wanted to like play a joke on my brothers. I was like, you wait and
Mhm.
you wait and you wait, and you get bored, and you're waiting,
Mhm.
because that thrill of when you scare them. But it's like Michael takes it a step farther, where he's going to scare them to death.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, by the way,
Mhm.
guys, we need to do a stream and talk about Scared to Death one of these days. I watched it after you recommended it, Stephen.
Wait. Too
Uh,
scared to scream?
Oh, Too
Yeah.
Scared to Scream. That's it. Too Scared to
You,
Scream. That's
I'll
good.
be there. You
That's
saw it,
awesome.
dude.
Right from the beginning.
Yes,
Was I
How
right
many-
on the 5-minute intro where he's
you
constantly
were
won't stop?
100% right.
I told
Yes.
you. So great.
But I was thinking of you guys the whole time watching it. That was good.
Oh,
Nice.
we got to do a stream on it or something, or at least talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
All right, so notable parts in this final thing. Do you guys? I've got a lot of stuff lined up that we can talk about.
Okay.
What's your favorite kill?
Oh, jeez. I mean, the Bob kill is iconic, but the Annie kill, it really got to me because I hated seeing Annie die. And I knew she
Yeah, I
was
like
going
it.
to. It was just a question of when. You could tell that it was leading up to that. So maybe I'll say Annie.
I'm gonna go with what's probably the most popular, but probably the most boo answer. But it's Bob. He is my favorite kill. I think it's fantastic, and I never get tired of seeing. Well, actually, I never get tired of seeing anything in this movie. But
I'm going with Linda. I
Yeah.
think it's just cool how it goes from being really kind of funny, and then the tone changes when he's
Mhm.
strangling her, and then the sheet comes off of him, and then it's like, oh, now it's really scary again.
Right.
Which
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
good
is really
point.
cool. And then I like this no you hang up part.
Yeah.
What is he
Awesome kill.
thinking?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the
So-
I don't know
thing
either.
is that you don't really know. You don't really
Then
know,
it-
but it could be almost anything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then
Yeah.
this is where Lori starts to get her like danger sense tingling, her dangertainment. And she looks across the street and the lights are flickering. So now she thinks that her friends are actually in trouble. And this is where I feel she makes her big mistake. She tucks the kids in, and it reminds me of that urban legend. Did you check on the
Mhm.
children? You
Mhm.
do not leave sleeping children unattended. She goes across the street when she thinks that there might actually be danger. Like, what if she got killed or something? Those kids are like left there all alone.
Yep. Yeah, it's
It's
true.
true. Yeah, you're right.
But it's worth it because Michael has set up a whole haunted house for her to explore.
Right.
Like, all the
That's
best
right.
jumps. This is like Hollywood Horror Nights level good.
hmm
So first we have the Annie room.
Man.
And then the Bob and Linda room.
Mm.
And yeah, PJ Soul's there with her eyes crossed. So
Yes.
I mean, I agree that I think with any movie, I think with Leprechaun, it's fun to analyze and stuff. But
hmm
people start getting into like Halloween is on a tier above all other slashers. Remind them how Linda's body is found. All right, girl got her eyes crossed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Michael is not too good to
Right.
sit at the table with Jason and Freddy and Chucky. Especially not Chucky. You guys know how I feel about that.
Right.
But I think one of the
Oh,
things that
man.
does make this one feel a little more like artistic, a little more sophisticated is the visuals. The visuals in this movie, I mean, considering the budget, and yeah, there's a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of camera shadows and stuff, but just the vision John Carpenter had when he made this movie, I think is really incredible. He has some really scary shots.
Yeah. He does.
Absolutely.
And the cinematography is fantastic. I mean, Dean
Dean
Cundey did
Cundey.
a fantastic job, and he was very humble about a lot of that too, because he said that they were still, even in those early days, experimenting with lighting and shadow and the angles of the camera when they were doing the shots. And I think he did a hell of a job. The movie, from that point of view alone, is just fantastic. Dean
And-
Cundey's
It
a
does.
legend.
This was a creative playground. They didn't have, studios barking at them every day. Like, did you get your shots done? Did you get everything done in time? They were allowed to have fun. And look what happens when producers trust their directors to create. You get something pretty special.
Yep.
Yep.
A lot of movies,
Mhm.
sometimes that people are not big fans of, you look at the behind the scenes and usually the producers start meddling, the money people start meddling with the creative people. And yeah, I just you hire someone to direct, trust them to do the job.
Trust them. I know.
Mhm.
It frustrated me for years with the Weinsteins and Wes Craven. They would meddle in every movie.
Mhm.
Yep.
I'm like, just stop. Let Wes make the movie he wants
Mhm.
to make, and it's going to be brilliant. But they want to get
Mhm.
their hands in it. It used to drive me nuts. I really
Yeah, Wes
just-
said that part 4 didn't even feel like his movie, which just makes me sad.
I
It
know.
does.
He's a very talented man.
Yeah.
You hired him, let him do what he
Mhm.
does.
And he was proven, he was cemented
yeah.
at that point. He wasn't new to the game. He's Wes Craven. And yet
Exactly.
he had to deal with all of that. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy.
So many,
Yeah.
Deadly Friends, another one where they cut that to
Aw.
ribbons. And it's like, why did you hire him then?
I know.
Yep. Mhm.
We got to do a watch party still, the three of us
We
on that
do,
movie.
we do. I still want to see.
Yes.
I hope one day we can find maybe like lost footage or something like they've done with some old Romero movies.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would
That
be
Oh my
would be
gosh.
cool. Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, that would
I
be
would
great
probably
to
be
do a
in
watch
tears.
party of
Like,
that.
yeah, we do. Seriously. We talked
Yeah.
about it a couple months ago and just time got
Yep.
away. We got to
No,
set that up
totally.
for maybe November. We can find a date. We'll talk offline.
I would love
We
that.
should.
I love Deadly Friends
should.
so much. You know I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Something else
Well,
that's
yeah.
scary about Haddonfield is you would think, I mean, there's this kind of thing you hear about with small towns that I don't know if it's true or not. I don't live in like a small town. I live in a small city. But you hear that, everyone knows your name, everyone helps out their neighbor and stuff. It's the neighborly thing to do. When Lori needs her neighbors to come through for her,
Oh,
they
gosh.
are not there. This to me is like the scariest part of the movie.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is true.
Hello, help me! Man, please help me! Please! Can't you hear me? Oh, God!
Mm.
They leave that girl out there to die.
Awful.
And I took a self-defense course once, and I remember they told us never scream rape, scream fire.
Fire.
That's horrible.
Mm,
Yep.
Like,
It's true, though.
wow.
how could you just turn off your lights like that? I mean, I know
I
that
know.
they might think it's like a Halloween thing, but just
Right. Yep.
I hear you.
she doesn't
She
look like
was-
she's having a good time.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
She was totally alone.
Yeah. They could have let her in. And yeah, so this is when Michael is coming after her and she needs to get back into the house, but she's locked herself out. She's pulling some Annie moves here, guys. She's pulling some Annie
Mhm.
moves.
Hmm.
Ooh,
Love it.
man.
So it's like you said before. So you were talking about how at this point she kind of needs to become that person who fights back.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is and it's a great little arc that she has in this finale, you know, because she approached it in a way that's believable because she was totally scared and appalled and had fear and everything, and now she's got to take care of these two kids, you know, which
And
again is just so courageous.
she could probably, save herself, but she's just not that kind
Hmm.
of person. Like she
Right.
did, even though I think it was a foolish thing to go across the street, she did it because she was worried about her friends.
Hmm.
Probably
Right.
should have called the
True.
police instead.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
But
Absolutely.
she's the person who comes through for her friend. She's the person who comes through for the kids she's taking care of. And ultimately, we think, and in a lot of other movies, I think this would be the end. It's also where we get the Scream thing. Oh no, Craven, are you okay? You look like you're falling asleep.
Huh? Oh no, I'm good.
I think this is kind of where it comes from a little bit. They're never really dead. They
That's
always
right.
come back
Yeah.
for one last scare. So
One
Lori
last
does
scare.
it. She kills the shape. This was the movie that cemented the formula for slashers. And so in other movies like
Did.
this Black Christmas, when Jesse kills, the guy, we find out later on it's not really the guy, but
Hmm.
Mm.
he doesn't just spring up and try attacking her again like that. That kind of was a Halloween thing. But this is
Hmm.
Lori killing the shape with her knitting needle, I think. No, with a knife. Oh no,
Ow.
she kills him with a knitting needle.
Yeah, the knitting needle.
Yeah.
Man.
And here's the
Get-
part that kills me. So, like this one, we've got a lot of little clips. Look at this. So she takes a look at him to see if the coast is clear. Did she get him?
Yeah.
He's still breathing.
Hmm.
Mhm.
She has a knife in her hand. You go over there, honey, and you just stab, 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 stab.
Yep.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
knows, she's learned by Halloween Ends. She's learned by H2O. Like
Yes,
we
she
probably-
has.
Yes, she has.
But here's the thing about Lori. Even though she just saw him breathing, this is what I was talking about before.
Hmm.
Fuck this knife.
Don't drop that
Yeah.
knife, girl.
Don't drop that. So why do you guys think she always throws away the weapon? I kind of gave my thoughts on it earlier.
Well, I think that she's coming from a place that's not of violence and aggression like that. And I think, she figures that he's just a human being, that,
Mhm.
he got stabbed or whatever, he's down. So she's okay for the moment. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't think beyond that. She doesn't know what he truly is, nor has she ever had to face anything like that, even with a regular human being. So she's way out of her depth. And I think that's why she does those things.
Yeah. I think she's repulsed at the idea of being that person. Like, and it's like, I don't want this. I don't want to have to stab someone. I don't want to have to.
Right.
I don't want that. I want to throw it. I just want. It's like almost instinctual. Like, no, that's not who I am, and it's so foreign to me.
Mhm.
And so she's rather than thinking about, oh yeah, I'll go like we're talking about, like go finish the job. She's like, no, I just don't. I want to be. I don't want anything to do with it. This is not me.
Yep.
I think
And-
it's
yeah.
I know you love Scream, but it's like that part in Scream where Sydney's like, what kind of movie is your life? Like, why can't hers be a romantic comedy or even a really good porno? I think Laurie Strode is refusing to accept that her life is a horror movie, but it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
true.
know?
I agree.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And hey, we got Dice rolling in the chat, and my bestie Creepy Queen is here.
Hey.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thanks for showing up, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
And so she thinks she saved the day. She goes to tell the kids. And we get this iconic line from Tommy, who seems to understand what Michael Myers is better than she does.
Yeah.
Killed him.
You can't kill the boogeyman.
Get in there, come on, Tommy. Now lock the door.
Yep. There it is. I love that scene.
Like both him and Lori have been paying attention to the shape, but I feel like Tommy had a better understanding because he is, I guess, more, mentally where Michael is. You know, Michael is the boogeyman. Michael,
Yep.
you know, Michael, not only is he the boogeyman, he wants to be the boogeyman. Just like how Chucky eventually embraces being Chucky the Killer Doll. Michael likes being the boogeyman of Halloween. You know, that's what he likes, playing the tricks, being scary. He enjoys that. Lori, though, she thinks it's just a man, and so she's not prepared.
And I love whenever right after Tommy says, "You can't kill the boogeyman," all you hear is "Ah!"
He's right there, like on cue.
I know. I love that.
And continue. I mean, there's so many iconic moments in this finale. There are just so many. I just rewatched H2O and remembered how much I love that. I love in H2O when she goes up to the closet and she's like, "Oh hell no," and she doesn't go in. And there's a reason why. It's because of this scene right here. It's also the noises with Michael, the grunting noises. Like he just doesn't sound like a man.
Right.
He sounds like I don't know, like a dog or an animal or something. It's like this kind of growly noise he makes.
He doesn't sound human. He really doesn't.
He doesn't.
And then she gets him again. And then this scene is it's been recreated so much. It was recreated in Ends. It's recreated in 2018. It's recreated in H2O. This scene is one of the ones that gets recreated the most.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Epic.
And for good reason. It's so scary.
It's physically so damn hard to do too.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Awesome.
Like, I don't consider myself to be somebody who's in bad shape, but that is hard to do. Like, no rounding, no putting out your arms to stabilize. Like, you guys try this. This is your Halloween homework tonight. You try just laying down and getting up straight as a rod like that. Try that. There's been a couple times where they've had people do it more human, like in H2O they did for a particular reason. And I think in Ends, the way that character does it is for a particular reason too. It's not quite that ramrod straight, but the way Nick Castle does it in this, like, somebody is not skipping Corday.
Yeah.
That
No
bravo,
doubt.
abs of steel.
I mean, Knight is probably the only person I know off the top of my head that could pull that off fluidly.
It's hard to do, man. It's hard to, but it's hard to do, because you have to have some really good core strength.
Yeah. Oh.
Knight, you need a video now.
I've told him that.
It's funny because I was trick-or-treating as Michael tonight, and I was going to shoot a clip of me doing it, but we just ran out of time because we were trick-or-treating with the kids and everything. But I do have some video of me scaring some kids, though, and I'm going to have to put that up hopefully
all right, guys.
tomorrow.
So we're almost to the very end of this. So Loomis finally shows up, saves the day just in time. I'm sure Lori's like, who the hell is this guy?
Right.
I love this scene mostly because I love the shapes that the shape makes. It's like a little dance.
There it is.
And of course,
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.
Love that.
Classic.
And I love that she doesn't say like, who are you? And so I think she's just grateful to have somebody do what she can't do. She cannot shoot Michael. She can't do that. She's done the best she can. She needed somebody to come in and do that because she is not the person who can do that right now. And so I think she's just grateful for him to be there. But I think for me, the scariest part of this movie is the end. And they didn't know how they wanted to end this. They used a lot of like establishing shots from earlier. But they show all these shots with just that heavy breathing. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to play that one of those shots. Just, that's how we're going to wrap up our show.
Ooh.
It's haunting. It's so
Oh, it
scary.
is
And
haunting.
It is.
it's this reminder that he could be anywhere. This happened in
That's right.
Haddonfield. This was one night in Haddonfield, but he could be at your house now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what
That's
I
right.
feel when I finish this movie. No matter how many times I watch it, you feel like
Yeah.
he could be outside. He's watching you now.
Yeah, it makes you want to look over your shoulder.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
It does.
So
Yeah.
that's Halloween, guys. It is
Classic.
iconic. It's held up for over 40 years now.
Oh yeah.
And I think the simplicity is what helps it maintain its legacy, because it's still so it's still something that people can connect to, the authenticity of the story.
Mhm.
There's so much truth here, and I think that's why it has the legacy it does. But my last question for you guys is, why do you think Halloween has continued to be so important to people for all these years?
I just think it's just so well done on all levels. You know, they had a great cast, great writing, great direction, great cinematography, great music, great atmosphere. And I didn't even mention Donald Pleasance yet. You know,
Mhm.
you see where I'm going with that? The movie has just so many great things. It's for me, it's math. It all adds up to just an iconic movie that stands the test of time. And for me, all of these clips, like I know this movie inside and out. And every time I watch it, I still enjoy it. You know,
I don't ever get tired of it. I
Yeah.
really
me
don't.
neither. Me
No.
neither.
It's one of those ones where you love the fact that you know the next line that's coming because you're having a good time.
And
Mhm.
what's funny is that even though you know what's coming, it's just as suspenseful as like when the first time you saw it. Like the tension's building, even though I know everything that's gonna happen, it doesn't matter. It's
Mhm.
so powerful and it connects at all those emotional levels, and you feel the tension, you feel the suspense on all of these scenes every time you watch it. That's incredible for something 44 years old that can still do that. That can still
Yep.
connect today like that is amazing. And that's
That's
very
right.
few movies that can do that, really.
Mhm. I
So
agree.
it's just lightning in a bottle, to use a cliche, but it fits. It was the perfect storm of creativity, execution, and passion. It's honestly a beautiful piece of cinematic art that I hope is studied from now forever. Honestly, I hope it's always looked back upon as that the way to do suspense, and you don't have to have gore and blood squirting all over the building to be scary. And that was
Mhm.
just it's a beautiful art. I love
There
it.
are a lot of colors in horror, and gore is just one of those that you can paint with.
Yeah,
But this one paints with suspense, and it's a beautiful work of art.
it is.
You guys, both
Really
of
is.
you, great insights tonight. You guys have brought so much interesting conversation to this stream. You guys have brought awesome insights. You guys made me laugh. You guys are awesome, my horror brothers. I've had an
Aw.
amazing time with you tonight.
Oh,
Same
Revisiting this
here.
awesome movie.
same here.
Yeah, you've been amazing, Gory, as
I was just
always. I
about to
mean,
say that. Yeah, you're the
man,
one driving the car. It
totally.
was
We're
great,
we're in the back seat for the ride. You're the one
right?
driving it, and what a great job as always. Just amazing.
Yes.
Your preparation, your everything is just. I always love it when I get a note from you that says, "Hey, you want to come on?" I'm like,
Right?
"Oh yeah, let's go," because it's always such fun.
It
And this
is.
was no
It really
exception. Great
is.
job.
This
Yeah, I
whole
know how much you
series has
guys
been
love this
great.
movie, and it was awesome to celebrate it with you guys.
Same.
Awesome
Absolutely.
people.
On
What
Halloween,
you
too.
guys? I know you guys are so busy. You guys work so hard on your channels, and these guys have families and jobs too, guys. Like I don't know how they do it. But what do you guys got
I
coming up
don't either.
on your channel?
I don't either.
Sorry.
What can we look forward to?
Well, I will say this, and I did just send it out to a bunch of folks, including you, Gory, but
Hmm.
on Friday, at 8, I'm gonna have a, like a hangout, chill out live stream, but it's gonna be a birthday stream because my
Birthday.
birthday. Yeah.
Wow,
Yep.
Danny's
So,
birthday's this week too. His is the 3rd.
right? I know, right? Mine is
Oh,
the day
that's right, because we
before.
were gonna do a stream. But yeah, I
Yeah.
actually my Friday stream got pushed back to Sunday, so I'm free.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so we're gonna be hanging out for a little bit, and I'm passing the word out to some folks if they want to drop in for a little bit and hang out and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's what I got going.
That's awesome. Well, very
Yeah.
happy
Awesome.
early birthday to you.
Yeah.
Scorpios roll.
Yeah.
Hey, well, something I just one thing I'll mention real quick is tomorrow night I've got a watch party. I told Night for ages now that I've been wanting to do a Friday the 13th franchise watch along thing where we watch all the movies from and I decided that I wanted to start tomorrow. At least we'll see how far we get into it. But anyway, tomorrow night I'm going to be doing a watch party for a Friday the 13th movie. I haven't decided which. You got to come to the stream to find out. But we're going to
You
watch
should
a
have
movie.
like a spinning thing. Pick it at
I
random.
thought about doing a wheel. I really have. I thought about that. And it's going to be, no pre-announcements. You got to show up. And I've got Knight on the panel. Corey Ander's going to be there. Katie from Popping the Popcorn is going to be able to join us. And Eric from the Bearded Entertainment will be on the panel. And Corey, you are invited, by the way. Just let you know if you're free.
What time?
We're starting. It's at 9:15 Central, 7:15 your time tomorrow night. And if you need to let me get back to me, you can get back to me. But you're invited for the panel if you'd like to be there.
Very cool.
We're gonna watch one of these Friday the 13th together.
That sounds fun. Remind me, because I do work tomorrow.
Okay.
But after I get off work, I think that'd be an awesome way of spending the evening.
Yay!
Guys, I do put my schedule that's coming up at the end here in the credits. It's a little different. I'm going to be doing Halloween Ends review this Sunday with Danny and Lee. So I'm going to have to move back the fight night, which is another week. I'm so sorry. And then next week, I have a guest who's making a Halloween fan film, and we're just going to talk about Halloween influences. And then, guys, I think I'm going to take a break from some Michael Myers stuff. I've done a lot for.
You've done a lot.
Yeah, I think I
Yes.
need some Chucky or some Ghostface. I
There
like to
you go.
mix it up.
Or maybe
But
some
it's been fun.
Jason.
It's been wild.
Maybe some Jason, Gory.
You know I love Jason. You guys know I love Jason.
That's right.
He's amazing. He was, that was one of the early ones I got into. I love Jason, so I love them all so much.
Yeah.
Same.
Yep.
Awesome. I'm so excited. This has been super fun. Guys, their links are in the description below. I am a big fan of both of these people as creators, as people. They are incredible. They make so much amazing content, news, reviews, live streams, just awesome. You guys have heard them here today. They are so knowledgeable. If you are not already subscribed, please go check them out in the description below. You will not be disappointed. They are awesome.
Thank you.
Guys, again, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
This was a blast.
My
Loved every
pleasure.
minute of it. Yes.
Absolutely. Every time
you.
that we do this, it's always fun.
And we're going to have to round robin some closing outro lines because I just need to hear it at night. So, and you, Craven.
Oh gosh.
All right.
He gets so nervous. I put him on the spot.
Yeah, because it's not as natural, because like when you're doing a live stream,
All right,
when
Craven,
you're
will you go first then?
So you're hold on. Yeah, we're both like right now. We're acting like we've never done anything before.
I am the worst horror sister ever.
No, you're not. No, you're not. So I just want to make sure I deliver exactly what you're wanting tonight. Do you have something in mind, or you want me just to do my?
Actually, now that you've put it, I was asking for your outro, but now would you just do bub-ups for us?
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Oh man!
Wow.
Oh, I don't even remember how to do the boat. The boat. It's terrible. Oh my gosh! Nobody clipped that. Nobody clipped that.
Someone's going to.
I know they are.
Danny might clip that.
Danny might. I can just see it on Twitter. Oh. All right, Night.
All right. Okay. All right. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch.
I love that. It reminds me of that final line in The Thing from Another World. Watch this guy. Very haunting. Guys, you've been amazing in the glory hole. Thank you so much for your generous super chats. Thank you for watching. I will see you again on Sunday for Halloween Ends. I'm really excited to talk about that movie with you. Thank you so much. And until we meet again, blessed be.